Kick the mantle. When you're ready to navigate your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels roar, wheel to wheel, no room for a fall. Throttle pin, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of that midnight scheme. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day. Lap by lap, we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Take a red light dancing, the tack don't lie, spitting gravel, carving the sky, hustle the corners, whip it wide, late model demons, drift and glide, chrome on chrome, a battlefield clash, sparks kiss the ground in a fiery flash, no surrender, no breaks to be found, victory's hymn in that deafening sound. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Wheel to wheel, kings of the clay, dust clouds rising, night turns to day, lap by lap we live for the thrill, chasing glory, powered by will. Kings of the clay, kings of the clay, kings of the clay. Wheel to wheel, 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 kings of the Kick the mantle. When you're ready to navigate your best goal. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble, tires grip slick, mud tattoos, the side panels roar, wheel to wheel, no room for a fall. Throttle pin, hearts pound like bass, slide through the corner, a deadly embrace, chasing that checkered, sweat stain dream, the track screams out of
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready for another night of amazing racing action as the Wheel-to-Wheel Racing League storms into Homestead-Miami Speedway for what is going to be another amazing night of racing action as each and every one of these drivers is going to be looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane. As Bush in the chat says, "Let's go, Big Willie." Double in the chat as well says, "Chubbed up for Willie Smith." Cheering on Willie here this evening. My boy Richard Bradshaw in the mother fluffin' house. Richard coming in says, "Peacemaker!" What's good, Richard? How are you, Mr. and Mr. Underwood in the chat as well. Says, "What song is that?" Oh, you know that's just some AI that we created. It's at least, copyright free and not going to get us demonetized and penalized here on good old YouTube. So it's the only music we can really play without getting hit with those penalties here on the old red site. So we got to do what we got to do as each and every one of these drivers getting their qualifying laps in. And for right now, all these drivers, except for two, have gotten lap times in. And it looks like for Mike Corvo and Jacob Lee, they're going to have to start at the back of the pack here this evening. And starting in the pole position will be the number 57 ride of Grant Applegate. Applegate will start in the pole here this evening as Anna Alessandro in the chat says, "Let's go, Landon." Cheering on Landon here this evening. Landon's going to be looking good, going to be looking strong and hoping to try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening for what should be a great show and another great race as the Fish Speed Breaks 280 here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's going to be a good show, man. This is going to be a great race. Fuel, tires, everything is going to come into play. And for the Fish Speed rides, they're going to be looking very, very strong here as I believe they're starting at least 4 cars at the front of the field here, with Applegate starting in that pole position. Jordan Fisher in that Fish Speed Breaks, and number 39 ride will start in position number 2. Starting back in position number 3, different paint scheme here this afternoon in the Louisville number 37 ride. It is Evan Stewart and his Fish Speed Breaks and Ford Mustang going to start there in third to his outside. In the Fish Speed number 5 ride, that is Xavier Ruggle-Brugge who will start there in that 4th spot on the Speedway. Starting in position number 5. In the Skittles ride, it is the 8 of Trent Johns to his outside. In the Racers for Christ number 16 machine, it is Matthew Wood starting there in 6. Starting back in 7th in the MD Turner number 10 machine, that is Mr. Chess Hampy to his outside. In the Robin Hood number 67 ride, that is Jack Buelty. Buelty will start there in the 8th position. Starting back in position number 9, I believe we got to look back to the inside, should be the 2 ride of Landon Burbage, I believe starting there in 9th to his outside. We'll see where this gets lined up. It looks like it will be the 45 ride of Colby Wells. Wells will start in position number 10, rounding out our top 10 here this evening. Jaden Browder, Joseph Smith, Austin Thompson, the 99 of Logan Perriman, back in position number 14 in his Freeway Insurance Pitbull number 99 ride there in 14th. Back in the 15th position is that 75 of Willie Smith. Willie will start there in 15th. You'll have the Voodoo Ranger number 34 ride starting to his outside there in 16th. Austin Guerrero, Ryan Haller, Terrence Murphy, Wyatt Mickelson, the number 32 and Nick Biddy, the 6 of Joe David, Stephen Blevins, Jaden Porter, Jace LaForte, Lucian Thompson, Caleb Holloman, Michael Boyles, Jason Bogarts, Michael Ponder Jr., Joshua Nunez there in that 31st position with Mike Corvo rounding out our top 32, as it looks like Jacob Lee has not jumped out there for the start of this race. He will have to start either down pit side or hopefully try to join this race a little later on, but unfortunately not out on the speedway as of right now. So for right now, it is that KC Travels number 97 ride of Mike Corvo, who's going to have to start at the back of the pack here, and he's going to be looking to try to work his way forward, but out in front, it's all Fish Speed Brakes 1, 2, 3, and 4 out there on the speedway. Obviously, you see Evan Stewart. He's supporting a different paint scheme here this afternoon. Now, he's still a part of that Fish Speed team, but he's got the Louisville number 37 ride on board with him here this evening. Now, I'm not sure if that is a Louisville for baseball. I'm assuming it's something with baseball. I mean, that's kind of a baseball city there with Louisville, so you got to imagine that's support of baseball team. Is that Louisville? I don't know where that may be. I don't even know. He's going to have to give me the lore there as we go green flag racing, and already they're wrecking. Oh, brother. So the first start of the day, and things get wild right out of the get-go with our race leaders both running into issues. Both Fish Speed rides run into problems here on the initial start. You can't make it up, chat. You cannot make it up. Let's see if we can take another look at it as Jordan Fisher on the outside. But you watch Grant Applegate here, our race leader, down through the Geico restart zone. He spins the tires right here. A lot of tire spin. Luckily enough, able to kind of catch it, but washes down the racetrack. And at the same time, the 39 run. I don't know if Jordan Fisher spins the tires a little bit here as well. Nonetheless, he starts to get a little bit loose, out of control. The 5 of Xavier Rugglebrugge gets into the back end of him, and things just kind of pile up from that point on. Now, let's take a look here as the 10 ride is the first car to kind of go around out there on the racetrack at Jess Hanby. Now, I'm not sure. Yeah, it just looks like they get stacked up. Landon Burbage into the back end of the 10. Spins him around. Nowhere to go for Nick Biddy. See the 88 ride. Guerrero gets in there, gets a piece of it. Ryan Haller right there as well. Nowhere for Haller to go, man. That's a tough break there for the 60 ride out on the speedways. Haller just kind of trying to squeeze his way through it, man. They're 3, 4, 5 wide. He shoots for the middle, and you take a look at Murphy. He gets some solid contact into it. Blevins gets a hard lick into the side of that 10 ride. Looks like Jaden Porter also getting some hard contact into the back end of the 10 ride, then up into the outside fence, and that's where you see Joe David, Caleb Holloman, the 61 rides around there as well, as Thompson unfortunately having some issues there. He gets some damage as well, and taking the initial green flag, and things just kind of get a little wild here, chat. Things get wild right out of the get-go. Can't draw that one up any crazier. As man, that was a wild way to start this race. I'm going to tell you that much. Not very often do you see, big issues like that for both drivers on the front row. But my gosh, did that ever stack things up and make this a potential very long day for a lot of these drivers? A lot of these cats just getting absolutely tore up here. Not even back down into corner number 1. Not even a quarter of a lap out there on the speedway. As Fish Mom says, let's go Fish Speed. Cheering on all the Fish Speed rides out there on the speedway. Well, not quite the start that they wanted. A lot of Fish Speed rides that start at the front of the field ended up with some damage, and unfortunately put into a very, very tough spot out there on the speedway. But we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to try to go back to green flag racing. Here is now out in front, able to squeeze through it, was the 16 rider Matthew Wood. Matthew in that outlier speed company number 16 ride will start here, will restart here in the top spot. He will have Evan Stewart right there to his outside. The Fish Speed number 5 ride of Xavier Rugglebrugge there on his back bumper. Trent Johns there in position number 4. Jack Bealty up into 5th. Kobe Wells, Joseph Smith, Landon Burbage, Logan Perriman, and Jaden Browder now rounding out our top 10 here in this one. As Double says, what in the 500 iRating was that start? Yeah, that was definitely a crazy one. Yo, what's up, Rodney? Mr. Stewart, what's good, brother? Ronnie in the house says, Peacemaker, my boy, my brother. Rodney, how are you, mister? How you doing today? As we'll get them all ready to rumble here. Let's see if we can get this restart a little bit more cool, calm, and collected. See if we can get some laps under our belt here under the green flag conditions. As Ronnie says, let's go, Evan. Let's go, Ronnie. What's good, brother? How you doing? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Sunday. Unfortunately, I am sick, so if you guys hear me mute up a few times, it's because I'm coughing or sneezing or I got the sniffles and just trying to survive here this evening. As Matthew Wood Good restart, good launch right there. This time, everyone's able to make it down into corner number 1. Now, I do believe Jordan Fisher has received a black flag here, so he may have gotten a speeding penalty down pit road. And for the Fish Speed number 39 ride, it looks like the officials have cleared that off for him. So, good break there for Jordan Fisher. Black flag has been cleared, so he doesn't have to make that early pit stop. But you take a look here at the... Man, who was that? There was somebody getting pushed here. That 41 ride was getting shoved down this back straightaway, or front straightaway here a ton, as a lot of these drivers have now found themselves, a lap down or so out there on the racetrack with the 41 ride of Joshua Nunez. Unfortunately for Nunez, kind of falling backwards here, as Jimmy 3 says, I'm surprised Dallas Seward wasn't the cause, and he's not even in the race. Yeah, I mean, I miss Dallas, brother. I miss Dallas. He was a good kid, good guy. It sucks that he's not out there. I wish he was out there, as we do see Jaden Porter making an early race pit stop here. Oh, brother. This is a tough break for the AG's Designs number 74 ride of Jaden Porter. Obviously making this early race green flag pit stop, going to set him even farther back here and gonna put him into a very, very long day at the Speedway. We'll see if he even keeps on going here. He's been kind of dipping out in quite early in a lot of these races. Mrs. Holler, what's good, Mrs. Holler? Says hello everyone tonight. Hi Anna, kudos. The Peacemaker sick and still shows up. Yeah, you know it. I am still here. I'm still here. I had 2 broadcasts yesterday. I had a broadcast earlier today as well, but we're still here. We're still showing up. We're not missing these races. There's no way we're missing them. Obviously, your boy needs to earn them paychecks. Gotta be able to pay the bills and keep the lights on here in the Peacemaker studio. So obviously, we gotta show up. We gotta put on the best show that we possibly can, sick or not. It's very, very unlikely for me to miss a race, man. I mean, last night was close. I'm not going to lie. Last night was really, really bad. I was struggling so hard in the Premium Stock Car Racing League last night, chat. I'm sure Jimmy 3 I'm sure he's went back and rewatched it. He knows that I was struggling. I was dying up there in the booth, but we put together the best show that we could, and hopefully it was still really, really good in displaying the great racing there at Bristol's. We do see the caution flag coming back out here in this one. So our second yellow flag of the day here comes early on again here in this one, as we're going to take a look here. Chess Hamby, unfortunately, going to run into some issues again, it looks like. Let's see if we can find Chess out there on the speedway. There is that 10 ride, as the MD Turner Enterprises 10 machine just kind of gets loose down and out of corner number 2, goes for a slide. Now, he's not the only one. There was somebody in front of him that also went for a slide, but you see him out of corner number 2, just kind of lose the rear end, starts to go around, and unfortunately finally does. And for that Nick Biddy Designs and number 10 ride comes to a stop right there, and you do see Michael Ponder Jr., all the Ponder Jr. fans in the stands. Unfortunately, I believe you're going to see that Chili's number 13 ride run into an issue here as well. Running the Carson Hocevar paint scheme here this afternoon, but it's just tough racing right here. He's got Jordan Fisher on his back bumper, Caleb Holloman, Applegate there to his outside there, 3 almost 4 wide, with Jaden Porter rolling back out of there on the racetrack, but there's a little contact between the 13, the 77, that starts to spin him around. Nowhere to go for Jordan Fisher as he gets into the back bumper of him, and unfortunately sends him down through the infield there as well. Now, luckily enough, Chess Hamby also ran into an issue there that put him into a caution flag, so didn't really lose much out there on the racetrack. But let's see if we can get another look at it, another angle, see if there was some contact, if there were some issues here. It looks like 77 kind of straightened out, just tight racing out on the speedway. And unfortunately for the 13 ride, the Chili's machine going to go for a loop-de-loop right here, and it does look like he makes some pretty solid left front contact there into that infield safer barrier, but gets the yellow flag. If Chess Hamby didn't go around and get stopped on the racetrack there, could have been a long, long night there for the 13 rider, Michael Ponder Jr., but luckily enough, he does get that caution flag with Hamby going around, as everyone's going to make some decisions here. It looks like only a couple drivers head down pit side. A few of them coming down here. We see Jack Buelty, obviously Michael Potter Jr. trying to get those repairs. He's down pit side. Jordan Fisher's back down pit road. Stephen Blevins, he's down pit side in that Skyline number 15 ride. And a lot of these other drivers trying to get some more repairs, trying to get their cars fixed up and back out there on the speedways. They'll be chasing down this 16 ride of Mr. Matthew Wood. Is Landon in the chat? What's good, Landon? Landon racing and commenting on the streams. That's what's up here in this one. That's what's up. Landon coming through big here in this one, man. I don't know how you guys are able to do that, man. I can't even text and drive in real life, let alone doing it while I'm iRacing as... Jimmy 3 times says, no, I'm Jimmy McGill. McGill? Oh, okay, Jimmy McGill. Okay, I like it. And yo, my boy, Rodney Stewart. What in the world? Rodney coming in, Hot Rod showing the big love here in this one. Are you kidding me? Rodney says, I got you some for some medicine. Laugh out loud. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that. I'm going to need some Buckleys tomorrow, probably. I think I'm going to need some Buckleys. If I didn't have a broadcast here tonight, I probably would have went down to the store. I probably would have bought some, and I'd probably passed out right now in a comatose state as your boy... I have to work tomorrow. I can't take the day off. I don't want to get the boys at work sick, but man, I need the shift. I need the hours, man. I'm more part-time. I don't really work full-time, so when I get the opportunities to go in and do some construction throughout the wintertime, your boy needs those days. That helps us a long ways in the pain, right, and keep the lights on. So I'm gonna have to battle through it, man. I'm gonna have to battle through it. I'm gonna need some obviously energy drinks. I'm gonna need some medicine. I'm going to need all the prayers and hopes in the world that I can make it through a full shift tomorrow and any other days I work throughout this week. As Mr. Matthew Wood out in front. Great restart there for the Racers for Christ. Outlier Speedco number 16 ride is Matthew Wood out in front, but Evan Stewart in the Louisville Fish Speed ride right there with him. Evan doing a perfect job here, as Jimmy 3 times says, is that a Canadian Canada medicine? Buckley's? Do you guys not have Buckley's down in the U.S.? Mrs. Regal in the chat as well says, let's go Xavier, cheering on Xavier Ruggle Bruggies. We do see some more of these Fish Speed rides starting to navigate their way to the front. One of those being Colby Wells, who's up 7 positions, started back in 10th. Now up and into that 3rd spot as he works his way around his teammate in the 5 ride of Xavier Ruggle Bruggy. Joseph Smith now up into position number 5 here. Another one of those Fish Speed rides. At this point, they might better make all of the Fish Speed rides, everyone should just be in a Fish Speed car at this point in time. I mean, they're just taking over all the cars out there on the speedway. I figure you might want to cap the limit on how many team drivers you can have. And Jimmy says, no. Okay, Buckley's isn't a thing. Okay, let me see. What is the U.S. version of Buckley's? The Vicks Vapor Rub or Liquid Vicks products. Robitussin maximum strength. Stuff like that. I don't know. It's just, it tastes awful, but it works a ton. You get like a tablespoon of it, and it just works magic. It tastes so bad, so awful, but it definitely works, man. And the closest American equivalent to the notorious strong, bad-tasting Canadian Buckley's mixture is Vicks Vapor Rub. We have Vicks Vapor Rub too, though, and Vicks is like, the Vapor Rub is you just put it onto your chest and stuff. You don't drink it. The other stuff you actually drink. You actually have to like make a teaspoon of it and use it. Okay, so it's a decongestant, yeah, kind of deal. It's just a lot of medicine, as Ronnie says. I have not heard of it. Okay, you guys need to look it up. Okay, Buckley's, it is magic up here in Canada, okay? It is magic up here. As Matthew Wood continues to lead the way, followed by a slew of these fish speed rides as Evan Stewart, Kobe Wells, Joseph Smith, and Xavier Rogobrugge round out our top 5. Trent Johns trying to hold on to position number 6 as he's got Landon Burbage rolling to his outside as we saw Michael Boyles loose there out at corner number 4. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it, able to keep that car rolling and pointing in the right direction, and luckily enough, keeps on battling here, but does fall back quite a few positions there on the racetrack. Lost a handful of spots there down the back straightaway and through corner number 1 and 2. So you'll have to battle back, look to try to regain those spots as you do take a look here. Wyatt Mickelson in that Bass Pro Shops Tracker Boats number 51 ride. He's up 12 positions from where he started, and Wyatt navigating his way up towards the front of the field here. He's up into 7th. He's kind of following Landon Burbage right on through and picking him up and putting him back behind him out there on the racetrack. Aiden Lucas up 7 spots in that Voodoo Ranger number 34 ride. Shout out to the Burnt Peanut, man. Shout out to the Burnt Peanut right there. The Voodoo Ranger 34 ride, man. He loves them Voodoo Rangers. I've never had one. That is another, that's an American product we don't have up here in Canada, but hopefully we can get one of those as Ronnie says around more towards Fort Knox. Okay. Fort Knox. I'm trying to think. Where is Louisville? Because obviously we see Evan Stewart with the Louisville ride there. So I'm assuming this is like Louisville. Is that in like St. Louis? I'm thinking of Louisville. It's obviously a baseball thing. I know like Louisville for baseball. I'm assuming this is a baseball-inspired paint scheme for this race car. I could be wrong, though, as Mrs. Heller says, missed Wyatt. Yeah, Wyatt's moving up, too. Look at, Wyatt's right there in that 7th spot. Aiden Lucas, Austin Thompson, Jordan Fisher's trying to battle his way back up to the front here for our outside pole sitter who we saw run into issues in that first start of the race here. The initial start, obviously he had his issues. He's battled back now inside the top 10. You do see Grant Applegate, our pole sitter, who ran into issues off that initial start. He's right there as well as Kentucky. It's in Kentucky. See, I don't think I would have ever guessed that for the state that Louisville would have been in. I don't think I would have ever guessed that. Louisville, Kentucky. Because that's like a central state. I would have thought it was like more of a East Coast thing, like Pennsylvania or New York or something like that. Maybe Delaware or something, D.C., somewhere in that area. Even North Carolina, somewhere in there. Something like on the East Coast, not more central USA, but that's good information to have. Good information to have is Bill Fisher says, keep moving ahead, Jordan. Good job. Great job out there, man. Good job. Good race here for that beautiful number 39 right, but look out, there goes Landon Burbage. Burbage is around. Oh, Nick Biddy's going to get tied up in it. The number 24 also tied up in it there. Big hit for that 24 of Mr. Terrence Murphy. Murphy, heavy front end damage as the caution flag will come out for the 3rd time here this evening, and this time it's Landon Burbage. Gonna run into some problems here. He's door to door with the Voodoo Ranger, number 34 of Aiden Lucas. Looks like Aiden kind of pushes up the racetrack there a little bit, makes contact with that 2 ride, and as that contact's made, it just kind of gets him bent out of shape. He tries to correct it, tries to keep the 2 pointed in the right direction, and unfortunately, it just snap hooks back up into the outside fence, gets turned around, and then all of a sudden, here comes the 24! Right there! Oh, tried to get to the outside. Nick Biddy tries to drive to the inside, obviously, as the 2 ride bounces off of the 24. Nowhere for Nick Biddy to really go right there, but let's take a look here. At the 24, Terrence Murphy actually sees Nick Bulte go around there as well. He's right up against the fence trying to avoid it. Unfortunately, he could not avoid that one, man. That is a tough break. That is a tough one right there. Oh, brother. Oh, heavy hit. Hopefully Landon's A-okay, man. Got bounced around like a pinball there. Obviously for Nick Bulte also getting kind of bounced around. Let's take a look here and see the damage that may have been caused here. for the number 67. I don't know if he got ran over or if something else happens. Yeah, it looks like he starts to get checked up in the 88 ride of Austin Guerrero. Obviously doesn't see what's happening in front of him, does not get checked up, but hard contact into his back bumper, locks him, kind of shoots him down the racetrack into the inside fence. So now heavy left front damage, heavy rear end damage there for that 67 ride, as he'll have to try to get that thing repaired and back out on the racetrack. And for a lot of these drivers, more carnage and more issues out there on the speedway can make things that much more interesting here this evening. As Jimmy 3 times says, Louisville, drop the S. Louisville. Louisville? Is it Louisville or Louisville? There's an I in it. There's an I in it. Drop the S. You guys don't say Louisville. I'm below Cincinnati in Florence, Kentucky. I feel like I know Florence, Kentucky. I feel like there's a lot of racetracks near Florence. Or there is a racetrack in Florence, is there not? What racetrack's in Florence there, Jimmy 3 times? Pretty sure there's a racetrack there. I'm positive of it. As Kentucky Sir says, Benny, how are you, mister? Coming and showing the love. As Ronnie says, Louisville Slugger Bats. Yeah, that's the only reason why I know Louisville. And that's why I think it's baseball that's supporting that car, is the Louisville Bats. As Ronnie Stewart says, think Gold Vault Peacemaker, like the old Bond movies. Okay. The old Bond movies. Alrighty then. I'll have to keep that in mind. That is for certain. As Ann says, Andrea Sue says, go Jordan! Keep working. He is definitely working his butt off, trying to race his way back up to the front of the field. As Anna says, shit. She says, shit. Hey, it's not PG up in here. She doesn't have to worry about the language there. And obviously, yeah, Kentucky Motor Speedway. Is that in Florence, Kentucky, or is that somewhere else? I work on Chamberlain, just south of L.A. Grunge? That's pretty interesting. Okay, that's cool. Hey, it's cool, man. It's cool to see where you guys are watching from, where you guys are from. If you guys haven't said it in the chat already, man, let us know. Where are you guys watching from? Where are you guys located? It's always fun to see. Obviously, I'm up here in Canada, man. I'm in Ontario, Canada. I'm up here just dying of flu and trying to survive up here in the now communist Canada as well. Louisville. Okay, Louisville. All right. We'll try to get that right. As Matthew Wood, though, out in front, gets a great restart again. He's able to jump in front of that Louisville number 37 ride of Evan Stewart. Evan going to stick right there to his back bumper, though, as the Fish Speed rides lined up once again, and they're hoping to see more of their Fish Speed teammates join them up here towards the front of the field, and one of those being that 39 of Jordan Fisher, as he works down to the inside of Xavier Rugglebruggy for that 5th position. Jordan able to slide up in front of him, back inside the top 5. So great rebound here for that 39 machine, as he is now right back into the battle, right back out into our top 5 after that, initial start mistake and slip up there for him. Great rebound for that 39 ride. As Xavier falls back into 6th, we do see Wyatt Mickelson right there in 7th. Trent Johns there in 8th, with Austin Thompson and Logan Perriman rounding out our top 10 on the speedway right now. As Ronnie says, the speedway just south of Florence. It's right there. Okay. I was thinking it was maybe like a dirt track or something. I could have swore there was a dirt track in Florence. You guys always think of asphalt. I'm always thinking of dirt tracks. I could have swore there was a dirt track in Florence as well. That's kind of what I was thinking more of. As Mrs. Holler says, Sarasota, Florida. Come on, Ryan Holler, move up. You're doing good. Holler is doing pretty good, man. All these drivers are doing a fantastic job. As you do take a look back, you do see the beautiful number 75 ride. That is Willie Smith. Willie trying to work his way forward, trying to keep this 75 ride right in the mix here this afternoon, as he's got Jason Bogart rolling to his outside. Looks like Bogart's trying to take that 16th spot away from him, but trying to keep himself right there and in that battle. As Jimmy says, I knew Evan lived in Louisville. Evan hates my guts, laugh out loud. Oh gosh. Come on, guys. Hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong word, okay? As you see, Lucian Thompson up and into position number 19 here. Willie Smith does fall back into that 18th spot, and obviously Thompson there into 19th with Joshua Nunez. Nunez up and into position number 20 here on the Speedway. As Mrs. Haller says, Haller has kidney stones. He's hanging in and on. Oh, man. That's got to be the worst. I have never experienced a kidney stone in my life. I hope I never have to. From what I heard, it is extremely painful and not very fun. So hopefully we never have to deal with that. But Trooper here, Ryan Haller, sticking with it, staying out there, continuing to battle, continuing to race here this evening. And, people always talk about, the Michael Jordan flu game. They talk about the Peacemaker Gaming flu broadcast on Saturday and Sunday nights. And obviously they're going to talk about this here this afternoon. The Ryan Haller kidney stones race here as well at Homestead-Miami Speedway. I think all three of those kind of go right in there together. Honestly, Michael Jordan's, his was good, but I don't think it was as good as Haller's performance or Peacemaker's over the last couple days. So I think he's going to have to take a step back there. Obviously, he's got the race team now hooked up and everything else. So I think for Michael Jordan, that flu game that he had was just luck. It was nothing compared to what myself and Ryan Haller are having to deal with here, not only tonight, but for myself, the last three broadcasts, and then including this fourth broadcast over the weekend, trying to just hang on and survive here this evening. But out in front, looking to hang on and looking to run away with this one, man, it is Matthew Wood. But we take a look at Jordan Fisher, who's worked his way back up into second, showing a ton of speed here in this one, man. A ton of speed into that Fish Speed 39 ride. To be able to battle his way back up through all that traffic, race his way back up here to the front of the field, now sitting in position number 2 and looking to track down the 16 rider Matthew Wood, man, puts him into a very, very good spot, but nice and easy down and out of corner number 4. For our race leader, Matthew Wood, he will complete lap number 35 here this evening, and that will be the end of our first stage of the day. So Matthew Wood picks up the first stage win of the evening. Great run, great drive there for Matthew as he's able to pick up the stage dub here this evening. Jordan Fisher will come home in second in that stage. Incredible comeback for him. And then Evan Stewart, Joseph Smith, Kobe Wells, our top 5, all earning stage points, including Xavier Rogobrugge, Wyatt Mickelson, Austin Thompson, Trent Johns, and Jaden Browder, rounding out our top 10 there in stage number 1 this evening. Jace Lafort just on the outside of the top 10 looking in. So wasn't Grant Applegate, as all these drivers will now get an opportunity to make a decision here. Do you come down pit road? Do you get fuel? Do you get tires? What is the call here down pit side? For each and every one of these drivers, man, fuel is definitely going to be something that you want. You want that fuel. You want to make sure that you're good to go here till the end of that stage, but you only get 6 set of tires back there behind pit wall. So using one up this early, maybe it's worth the gamble. Maybe it's worth the risk. If you saved enough, if you're able to keep on rolling there and keeping yourself, on the lead lap throughout the second stage, maybe you give up those stage points, but saving extra set of tires out there on the speedway may be the winning call for one of these drivers late in this race, having that extra set. As Ronnie says, that's horrible, Haller. The kidney stones hospitalized my dad. Yeah, that is awful. That is awful, man. I don't wish kidney stones on anybody, as Miss Haller says. I agree. Evan, you still having trouble catching Woods? Yeah, a lot of people have trouble catching that 16 ride. Honestly, it's quite surprising that we haven't seen Matthew as dominant as we normally have. Obviously, last season winning the championship in the inaugural season here of the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. For Matthew Wood, he was able to jump out there and win, 15 races? I believe he's only picked up 1 dub here this season so far. So, he hasn't really been on that pace that he was last year. So we'll have to wait and see, if he can kind of, pick up the pace, get a little bit stronger, maybe figure something out and try to put himself into an even better position here throughout the season. But for right now, he's playing catch up when it comes to the points and obviously trying to work his way into another win here this evening. So we'll have to wait and see who's able to get it done here in this one. But for right now, Matthew Wood leads the way, but he does not win the race off pit road. It is Jordan Fisher who wins that race off of pit road, so he will be our race leader here in this one. Evan Stewart comes out in second. Matthew Wood will have to restart here in position number 3 out there on the speedway as Andrea Sue says, amazing, Jordan. Keep going, keep going. Yeah, that was great run there. I mean, great recovery in the first 35 laps of this race after running into those issues in our opening start of this race, as Ms. Haller says, hats off to our sick guys tonight. Yeah, we're going through the ringer here. We're going through the ringer. We're doing our best. We're sticking with it. We're gonna put on a strong show, and obviously for Haller, a strong race. For myself up here in the booth, we're gonna put on a strong performance here in the broadcast booth and bringing you guys all the amazing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. As definitely, praying for my soldiers. Yeah. I appreciate that. Ronnie. The prayers are much needed. That is for certain. The prayers are much needed. As we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Jordan Fisher going to look for the restart here. Going to look for a big jump, a good launch, and trying to keep all these other drivers back there at bay. Alrighty, here we go. Nice and easy, down and out of corner number 4. The pace truck will make that hard left-hand turn back down pit side, and this time, through that restart zone, Jordan Fisher does not make a mistake. No tire spin, no issues. He's able to put his foot to the throttle, get the launch that he was looking for, and hoping to try to keep Matthew Wood, Evan Stewart, and the rest of this field back there at bay as Jordan Fisher looking to try to jump up here and put together a master class of a race here. As Bill Fisher in the chat says, 24th to 1st. 24th to 1st there for Jordan Fisher. That is absolutely insane. That is a strong car, strong run. Not only having to battle through, obviously, traffic to get there, but doing it with, maybe a little damage as well, and obviously just trying to, rebound there nicely. I mean, he rebounded, I think, the best that he possibly could. I mean, the only way it would have been better is if he would have been able to have enough time, another 5-10 laps, to maybe try to steal that stage win away from Matthew Wood. But you do see Matthew struggling down low here, trying to get that outlier speed company. Racers for Christ, number 16, right around Evan Stewart. Stewart, though, putting together a great fight here on the outside lane, trying to keep that 16 right back there at bay. And as they continue to battle side by side, it's bringing Colby Wells right into this battle for position number 2. And it may allow Jordan Fisher to open up slightly of a lead here as Matthew does slide up, clears that 37. But here comes a big run from Colby Wells as he looks down to the inside of Evan Stewart, thinks better of it, does not drive down to his inside here. He does jump back down low. He's looking underneath the 37. I'm not sure if Evan is just, trying to be a little bit safe here, a little bit cautious, trying to save a little tire early on in this run. And obviously a few of these other drivers find a little extra speed out there as Colby Wells trying to work his way up inside the top 3. Austin Thompson in that Black Honey Barbershop, number 23 ride. He's looking to race his way up here to the front. First time we've seen the 23 up inside the top 5 here this evening as he rolls down in that 5th position. Xavier Ruckelbrugge back in position number 6 with Wyatt Mickelson, Jace LaForte, the 8 of Trent Johns. He's going to stay in that 9th position as the 99 of Logan Perriman, the 11 of Jaden Browder, duking it out here. A tight battle back here. You can throw a blanket over our 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th place driver out there on the speedway as they're all running some different lanes, some different lines, and working him nicely here for some of these guys trying to battle their way to the front as we do see Mike Corriveau Up into the 12th position here. Corvo started at the rear of the field back in 32nd. Here he is up 20 positions and just outside the top 10, man. What a run it's been here for that KC Travels number 97 run of Mike Corvo, as we do see Jack Bulte right there behind him, Jason Bogart, Joe David, the 31 ride, and Joseph Smith. Allers right there in the mix as well, as he's trying to get that Graza ride up and into position number 16 on the speedway. If he can make that pass on the 31 ride, as they're door-to-door duking it out down into corner number 3 on the speedway. Thompson there in position number 18 with Willie Smith right there behind him. Willie rolling in that 19th position, trying to work his way up to the front here, hoping for a good run and a solid drive here out of that 75 ride here this evening. And Austin Guerrero, the 88, the National Guard ride, rolling there in 20th on the speedway. Stephen Blevins, after early contact and early damage to that Skyline ride, he's able to get it pretty much repaired. It's looking pretty much brand new out there on the speedway, and he's worked his way just outside the top 20, but looking to try to chase down Guerrero, looking to try to join the top 20 here this evening, as Caleb Holloman, Michael Boyles right there with them, Aiden Lucas back in 24th, Joshua Nunez there in position number 25 with Jacob Lee. Lee, unfortunately, is the first driver one lap down out there on the speedway. He's looking for another caution flag here, whether it's the stage break at the completion of lap number 75 or an issue out there on the speedway. But for Jacob Lee, looking for a wave around a lucky dog back on a lead lap here, as he had to start down pit side. And for the 1776 Motorsports number 21 ride, he's hoping that he can try to bounce back and into the action here this evening, as Chess Hamby there in 27th. Nick Biddy back there as well. Unfortunately, he's a lap down. He's there in 28th. And then we do take a look at Jaden Porter, Michael Ponder Jr., all one lap down out on the speedway. And for Grant Applegate, oh no, our pole sitter Applegate down pit side here as well. I don't know what happened here to Applegate, but man, he's tore up. So was that during the last caution flag? What in the world happened here to Grant Applegate? Okay, all right. So it was during our caution that Applegate runs into an issue, and I believe it's a shot right there from the 0-5, but everyone's kind of coming in. He's kind of following the car in front of him. And unfortunately for Grant Applegate, as everyone dips down below the sand barriers, he doesn't see it until it's too late, and unfortunately drives right into them. Oh my gosh. What a huge mistake there for the Fish Speed Brakes number 57 ride. A Grant Applegate, man, this is, oh man, look at that car. Look at the damage that it creates for the 0-5 ride of Blevins as well. We didn't even see that, but man, what a heartbreaker there for our pole sitter and for the Fish Speed rides, as Grant Applegate turned around and obviously tore up, and now he's looking that car back behind pit wall. Looks like Landon Burbage and Terrence Murphy have also taken their cars off the speedway and potentially out of this race here this evening. As out in front, it's still Jordan Fisher. Fisher continues to lead the way here in the Fish Speed Brakes 280 here from Homestead-Miami Speedway. As Ronnie Stewart says, this race is going to be a good one. Yes, it is. As Bill Fisher says, why does it show Jordan in the pits? I don't know. That is a good question. I don't know why it shows Jordan in the pit. That is a good question. Well, he's definitely not in the pits. Let's see if we can get a little refresh on this. There we go. Okay, well, that's going to fix it. So that fixed that problem. I don't know why that said pit. That is, that's an interesting error code right there. We'll keep an eye on that. If that happens again, we'll get that fixed. Obviously, he was not down pit road. He's still out in front, leading the charge here this afternoon, as Matthew Wood rolls there in position number 2. Evan Stewart there in third, as says laughing loud, I was so confused. Yeah, I didn't even know that. You guys got to keep me updated with that scoreboard. I don't see it. It doesn't pop up for me unless if I go into my Streamlabs and take a look from there at what things are looking like. So we're normally not there. So if you guys see something that's messed up with it, you guys let us know, and we'll make sure that we get it fixed up for you. We definitely don't want to see that. We don't want to see things to confuse you guys out there on the broadcast. As Evan Stewart rolls there in position number 3, still in the speedway, as the Fish Speed rides looking really, really strong here. At least 3 up inside our top 4 as of right now, is Wyatt Mickelson in that Bass Pro Shops Fish Speed number 51 ride. I swear, Fish Speed's on every single one of these cars for the most part, as he's rolling in that 5th position right now, trying to keep Austin Thompson back there at bay. Austin, though, continue to roll down to his inside. He's got that Black Honey Barbershop number 23 machine hooked up down low, trying to work his way back inside the top 5 as Xavier Rugglebruggy rolls there in that 7th position on the speedway. Jaden Browder in that From Energy, the From Energy number 11 ride. Okay, that's one I've never heard of before. That's an interesting one. We may have to try to check that out, as you know, we love our energy drinks up here in the broadcast booth, so we'll have to wait and see kind of what that company may be. But we do see Jack Buelte's worked his way back inside the top 10, now into that 9th position with Trent Johns there in position number 10. But we do see the caution flag coming back out, as this time it looks like the 74. Oh no, the AG Designs number 30 or 74 ride. What are some issues here? Just gets arrow loose down and out of corner number 4 right here. Car just kind of kicks out and around on him. He tries to save it, trying to keep it pointing the right direction. Unfortunately, snap hooks back around up the racetrack, obviously sideways, and stopped here virtually in the middle of the racetrack right at the start finish line. Our flag man not super quick with it here. Took his sweet old time. Still no caution flag. This took a long time for them to finally decide to throw that yellow. Our race leaders virtually by him by the time they finally threw that caution flag. So that was definitely a delayed one right there. The officials getting a good look at it. I can't believe they allowed the race leaders to go on by that number 74 before throwing the caution flag out there on the speedway. But yeah, unfortunately here for Jaden Porter, just loose. Tries to save it, overcorrects it. The car kicks around here on him. Now let's take a look here at Jordan Fisher. Fisher's down the back straightaway here. So I think iRacing and the officials were hoping that the 74 would get rolling, keep that car going, and not bringing a caution flag out, but coming to a stop there and just staying parked in the middle of the racetrack for as long as he did. Looking for a caution flag. Obviously, he's going to get one with our race leaders going by, but obviously, Jaden Porter could have easily got rolling here. Let's take a look back here. Where does Jaden Porter go around here? Okay, so here he comes. He's rolling into corner number 4, glues the rear end, tries to correct it, overcorrects, snap hooks back around, and right about here, he comes to a dead stop right there. Okay, so dead stop right there. Good. Easily, he's got it in first gear. You can throw it into gear, get rolling out there on the racetrack, but elects to kind of just stay there on the front straightaway. You take a look at our race leader, Jordan Fisher, is down in corner number 3 right here. We had a lot of time there. A lot of time to be able to try to get rolling back up there on the racetrack, and could have saved us from a mid-stage caution flag right there. But nonetheless, the yellow will be displayed, and that will split the field up here. A lot of drivers staying out. A lot of drivers coming down pit road. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be, risking it for the brisket. Maybe burning an extra set of tires here coming down pit side only after 20 laps of green flag racing, and putting on some fresh tires out there on the speedway, as Bill says, drivers, go to Fish Speed Brakes, and he will help you get faster. He'll gonna get you faster out there on the speedway. That's what everyone wants, man. Everyone wants to find that extra speed, that extra strength, that extra ability to, go out there, perform, put yourself in a good spot on the racetrack and into a good position throughout any of the races that you're in, man. So definitely go check out Fish Speed Brakes and make sure you guys get hooked up. Find that extra speed, get the help that you may need from Mr. Jordan Fisher as he's going to get ready for another restart here, hoping to keep the rest of these guys back there at bay. But as we take a look here, our top 10, their top 9, all did not come down pit road. Our first driver on fresh tires will be the 51 of Wyatt Mickelson, or at least making that pit stop. Jack Buelty, Trent Johns, Caleb Holloman, Matthew Wood was down pit side, Jason Bogarts, Haller, David, Corriveau, everyone else was down pit road here. Stephen Blevins, I believe, just got the lucky dog back on a lead lap here. Or maybe it was the 10 ride, but Blevins did not come down pit road, but he's starting at the back of the pack here. So isn't that 41 ride of Joshua Nunez. Michael Boyles looks like he's going to start back there deeper in the field, as well as Aiden Lucas. Look like maybe they are just down pit side getting some extra repairs, extra work done to those race cars. Obviously heavy damage on that Voodoo Ranger 34 machine. As here we go, back to Green Flag Racing as Jordan Fisher, great launch, great start right there. Able to get what he was looking for over a couple of those Fish Speed rides, with the caution flag will come right back out. His issues here on that restart is caution's going to breed cautions, and this time it looks like newcomer here to the series, the 41 of Joshua Nunez. Nunez going to run into some issues here. Spins the tires, loops the 41 right around. Obviously, drivers coming right at him here on the front straightaway. They throw that caution flag for the 41 ride. You'll see that yellow flag be displayed. He'll get an opportunity to try to get this car rolling and try to get back into the battle, and you see him spinning the tires there again, always going around. Obviously now with some pretty heavy right front damage, as the caution flag will be displayed again here, and that's gonna only help out those drivers that decided not to come down pit side here. If fuel was a question, if they were running a little bit low on fuel, it may be working into their favor here this afternoon, especially with a couple extra caution laps. May help them stretch that fuel out where they don't have to make an additional pit stop here in this second stage of the race. As we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at KS Woodscapes. Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing next time by the start-finish line as they complete lap number 62 here this evening. Now, our stage break is at the completion of lap number 75, so we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here. Just prior to the end of this stage, we'll bring you guys all the action and the sights and sounds here at Homestead-Miami Speedway for this restart, as we're going to jump on board here with our 8th place driver, the 75 ride of Willie Smith, as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Your boy has to quickly go use the bathroom facilities, and we will be right back up here into the booth in just a couple more moments. So make sure you guys crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite drivers, and get ready for what is going to be an absolute dogfight to the end of our second stage of the day. Alrighty, as riding on board here with Willie Smith, he is ready to rumble. He is ready to go back to work here and try to work this number 75 ride into a very solid position here on some good stage points here in stage number 2. As the pace truck will make the hard left-hand turn, and we jump into our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Alrighty, look out there as the caution flag will come out. That will bring a quick close here to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here in our first stage of the day. So obviously that first stage going to come to a quick close, but for our second stage here, potentially going to come to a very, very quick close here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see, kind of see who's going to be able to kind of rebound from it, who's going to be able to work themselves back into the magic here this evening. But for right now, obviously, a lot of drivers trying to get their cars repaired, trying to stick with it, trying to keep themselves in the battle here this evening. We'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to try to put themselves into a good spot here to finish off this second stage of the day. So let's take a look back, see what brings out this caution flag. We did see Austin Guerrero turned around there, and obviously he was running into issues. He was running into his own problems there on the racetrack. So, maybe just that issue continuing there and more drivers piling into it. Let's take a look at it and kind of see what happens. So you take a look here. 88 ride. Looks like he maybe gets a little help here from the 51. Let's take a looks like he gets into the fence right here. Okay, so there you go. Gets into the fence. Checks up, the 51 gets a piece of him, that gets him loose. He washes back down the racetrack, nowhere to go for hauler, but it spins the 88 right around. You see the 31, the 61, the 6, all these drivers trying to avoid it. Here comes Jess Hamby, he's going to slide in there as well. Drivers down through the infield, looks like Jace LaForte's going to get a little love kiss there under the nose of that National Guard ride. And unfortunately here, quite a few tore up race cars again out there on the racetrack, and it all starts here as the 88 just trying to push this car, trying to keep himself in a good spot, trying to have a good run here. He's up inside the top 10, trying to hang on to it, trying to pick up some good stage points, and obviously pushing maybe a little bit too hard, and finds his way into the fence right there, kills that speed and momentum. 51 gets a piece of him, and then from that point on, he's just trying to hang on to it, kind of gets bounced around, and then gets pinballed here a couple times. As a lot of drivers just all of a sudden get tore up here into corner number 1. But another caution flag and another restart on the horizon, and that is going to bring us even closer to the end of stage number 2 this afternoon. So stage number 2 quickly coming to a close, and Jordan Fisher may only have one more restart to go. If you can get one more good launch, one more good restart, it could potentially put him into what could be a winning position here, and not only in this stage but throughout this race. It builds a lot of great confidence. It puts you into a great mood and a great position here, being able to jump up there, being able to run as smooth as he is, and then obviously being able to lead all these laps, pick up those stage points. Definitely can make you feel very good out there. As Ronnie says, smash the like button for my boy Peacemaker. Yes, please do. Please hit the like button on the broadcast. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, as we do get them stacked up, racked up quickly here. We're ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as Miss Holler says, Holler, Mickelson, come on, she says. Come on, is right. As Bird Dog says, pinball racing. That's a good team name right there. That's a good team name for somebody out there. Pinball Racing. I like that. As here we go, getting ready to set them back loose. Getting ready to go back to battle here for what is going to be a 6-lap shootout to finish off stage number 2 this evening. Stage number 2 going to come to a close here in a quick hurry. And for these drivers, obviously, having the stage break come up, having the ability to be able to kind of, jump out there, be able to just make some good stops here, maybe play a little bit of strategy when it comes to fuel and tires. It could work out, it could hurt you when you look back there, in about that third row, you see the 16 right of Matthew Wood. He did pit back on lap number 57. Obviously, they haven't really had too many green flag laps, so if he did put fresh tires on, you're going to have a few laps of green flag tires, but maybe good enough tires that you can race your way up here and put yourself into a good spot, maybe able to steal the stage win back away from Jordan Fisher. But Fisher, great restart, great launch there in 4. That number 39 ride. He's looking to try to run away with it here. Is only 5.5 laps left to go here in stage number 2. As Ronnie says, come on, Evan. As Bill Fisher says, Bertog, I think there's a song like that. Pinball. Is it Pinball Racing or Pinball Warrior? Something like that. Pinball Warrior. I feel like there is a song. Pinball something. Pinball Master. Pinball Warrior. Something like that. I feel like it was like a old Kiss song or something. As Jordan Fisher out in front, leading the charge here. But we do see his Fish Speed teammates trying to hold up and hold off that 16 run of Matthew Wood. Potentially the newer tires are maybe just the extra little bit of fuel, the extra little bit of confidence here. The 16 of Matthew Wood quickly jumps up into that second spot, and he's got 4 laps left to try to work his way up towards the front of the field. Yeah, Pinball Wizard. Okay, I knew that's what it was. That's what it was. Who sang that? Who sang Pinball Wizard? Man, I'm going to know it as soon as someone says it. I know it. Oh, man. Oh, such a great song. That's gonna kill me now, chat. That's gonna kill me here as Anna says, come on, Ryan, and Joseph Smith cheered on Joe out there as well on the speedways. We do see the caution flag coming back out, so this stage may come to a close here under an early caution flag. Let's take a look back here and see what happens to Mike Corriveau, our last place driver starting this race. Had battled his way up nicely. He was just outside the top 10 for a while, and it looks like for the KC Travels ride, little bit loose, trying to hang on to it, and unfortunately, looks like Joseph Smith going to get a piece of him right here. Gets into that left rear, helps him go around, and for the 97, pointing the wrong direction there in the middle of the speedway. Car is coming right at him. iRacing throws that caution flag quickly, brings the yellow flag out, and for Mike Corriveau, obviously going to lose a lot of track position right there, but hopefully not too much damage. We'll be able to battle back, be able to bounce back here in this one, as we do see Austin Guerrero still down pit side, getting some heavy damage repaired. Grant Applegate, Landon Burbage, Terrence Murphy. Unfortunately, it looks like they are down and out of this race. Joe David has rejoined the field. He's got a lot of damage here on this 6 ride, but doing a great job here rolling at the front of the field as Ronnie says, of course you're going to know it when someone says it. I know, but it's like it's at the tip of my tongue. Pinball Wizard. I don't think it was Kiss. I don't think it was Aerosmith. It wasn't Whitesnake. Oh man, that's gonna kill me, chat. That's gonna kill me. Man, I'm just trying to think of other bands now that, from that era, and I'm just drawing blanks here. Oh, no. I was usually so good at this. I'm usually always so good at this, chat. Who in the heck sings that? Who does? Who sings it, chat? Oh my God. You gotta be kidding me. I think I know who sings it, chat. I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. I've been saying it the whole time. The Who! The Who sings it! That's who sings it. Oh my gosh, and of course, Bird Dog puts it in there right as I say it. Oh man. That's always the question. That's always the answer to that question, man. With so many good old songs, The Who sang it. The Who sang it, yes. And then Elton John. Okay, see, that's kind of what was messing me up as I was thinking of Elton. But I knew it wasn't him because I knew it was a band. And I was like, man, there was no way that... Yeah, that's a good one, though. That's a good one. That's a great song, too. Great song, great artist. Whether or not it's The Who or Elton John as well is absolutely amazing. But yeah, great song right there. As I believe next time by the start-finish line, they will complete our second stage of this race, so a lot of drivers staying out, not making their way down pit road. Some drivers that weren't in line for stage points looking to try to leapfrog this, as we saw Lucian Thompson able to come down pit side there on lap 67. We also saw Wyatt Mickelson, Chess Hamby, Willie Smith, Nick Biddy, a lot of these other drivers making some additional pit stops out there on the speedway. But for Jordan Fisher, he's going to stay out. So is Matthew Wood, and this time by the start-finish line, he's going to work his way up here and into victory lane. As Anna says, look at the chat. Yes, I know it's the Who. I figured that out literally just before Bird Dog jumped into the chat and gave me the answer there. But I had it. It's always the Who. It's always the Who. Whenever you're asking who sings it, man, it's always the Who, chat. It's always the Who. It's lively. It's lively. It is lively. It is. We love it. We love to see the chat moving, ladies and gentlemen. We absolutely love to see it. What are some other good songs, ladies and gentlemen? What are some other good old songs that you guys like? Or artists as well. I'm always interested to see, some of your guys' favorite artists. Especially... some of you guys are probably younger than I am. Some of you are probably older than I am. I mean, I'm 31, but I'm a really old soul. So I love old music, and don't get me wrong, I like the new music as well. I'll listen to pretty much everything. That is for certain. There's not a lot that I don't listen to, but I'd be interesting to see kind of what you guys listen to, what you guys like. Jump into the comments section. Let us know. See what you guys, who you guys are listening to, and who you guys, maybe grew up listening to, or your favorite bands growing up. Miss Holler says, Nelly! Oh, it's getting hot in here. So I'm going to take off all my clothes. I am getting so hot. I'm going to take my shirt off. Nelly! Oh gosh, that's a good throwback right there. I mean, he's still going. He doesn't really post, new music, but I mean, he's still out there. He's still fairly relevant in the grand scheme of things. As love me some Nelly. Who doesn't love some good old Nelly? That is for certain. As we see pretty much everybody come down pit road except for one driver that's came down pit side on the caution beforehand, and will now be our new race leader. It's Willie Smith. Willie gonna be our race leader going back to the green flag here this evening. So Willie Smith out in front. That is gonna be a good one. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide. Oh, baby. Who doesn't love a good old, Pitbull, man? Mr. Worldwide, the one and only Ocho. I listened to Tom McDonald. Oh, I love Tom McDonald. And you fellow Canadian, Connor Price. Okay, I haven't listened to too much Connor Price. I do love Tom McDonald. Don't get me wrong, man. They are fire songs, and I wish I could do some of those other ones. As definitely some good ones. And there are so many good older bands that I used to listen to, and I still listen to, man. they call me double DJ double Aaron in my friend group, because anytime that we're at a party or hanging out, or even most times at weddings and stuff, if there is no DJ, man, they got me up there in the DJ booth doing the shows, putting on the work, and giving everyone, you know, the amazing shows that they're looking for out there on the Speedway. So it is definitely my job to be the DJ in the friend group, and we love that accolade. We love the accolade. We love to bring the music to all of our friends and family whenever we're doing a crazy night of just living life, living La Vida Loco out there on the racetrack. As Anna says, love Air Force One. Air Force One. Okay. Danger Zone, Top Gun song. Oh, Danger Zone. Danger Zone. Okay, that is a good one. All right, here we go. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one. As was Danger Zone Kenny Loggins? There's no way that was Kenny Loggins, was it? No. Yeah, it was. It was Kenny Loggins who did that one. The Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, there we go. We love that. We love that. Red Hot Chili Peppers for certain. Great band. Great band. As here we go. Back to Green Flag Racing for Willie Smith. Looking for a big restart. Unfortunately, not quite able to get what he was looking for. As Jordan Fisher going to stay right down to his inside. And out of corner number 2, going to work his way up and into that second spot. As Ronnie says, but I like Metallica, Run DMC. Oh, baby, Run DMC. We love that. And AC/DC. It is by Kenny Loggins. Okay, it is by Kenny Loggins. Okay, we love that. We love that. Kenny Loggins, man. That's a throwback. That's a throwback. Oh, man. All these bands, all these songs, man. I might have to build a new Peacemaker playlist, that is for certain, because there's some great songs, great bands, man. There's some great ones there. Some of the ones that I've been really listening to lately, I've been loving some Avenged Sevenfold. That's been hot on the playlist lately. Some Avenged Sevenfold, some really, really good songs there, man. Great band. Shine Down as well. Can never go wrong with some Shine Down. That great band there as well. Love Kenny Loggins also. Yeah, Kenny Loggins is the man. That is for certain. Man. Trust me, if you guys saw my playlist, man, for Spotify, I have playlists that have days and days and days, like 30 days of music saved in these playlists and on my cell phone for always listening to music, man. There's never much that we don't listen to. Oh, the Red Clay Strays as well. That's another good one. For any of the country fans in the stands, Red Clay Strays, man, can't go wrong with those guys. They're on fire right now, too, man. They're so good. Tyler Childers, Old 60, so many amazing bands. And then, man, like, the range of my music goes from country there to obviously Avenged Sevenfold, Metallica, AC/DC, like you said, to I can jump in and listen to, Chubby Checker on repeat. I can listen to Beethoven, Mozart, so many of, different symphonies and everything else. And I just love music. I love music, chat. I wish YouTube was way more chill with the copyright stuff, or else we would play, some really, really good music throughout these broadcasts. Unfortunately, everything is copyrighted, so anything that you do play, they claim, so you can't really get anything in there. Drop the hammer, Jordan, says Bird Dog. Bird Dog's telling him, drop the hammer, run away with it. Well, he's trying to. Matthew Wood, though, sticking right there with him in position number 2 on the Speedway, as Kobe Wells there in 3rd. Willie Smith in position number 4, trying to hang on to it here, still looking for more out there on the Speedway. Michael Boyles for the first time up inside the top 5 here this evening. A good run here for that 0-5 ride as he rolls there in that 5th position. Evan Stewart back in 6th with Jack Buelty working to his outside. Then we see Austin Thompson. Jacob Lee. Jacob Lee's been able to work his way back on the lead lap, and here Lee is inside the top 9 as Miss Holler says Eminem, Muddy Waters. Oh, Muddy Waters. Yes. Run DMC, amazing. Yeah, DMC So good, so good. MC Hammer, oh, very little Hammer time. We love that. As Ronnie says, I am the same way. Must be something about us Aarons. Yeah, must be something about us Aarons there, Ronnie. That is for certain. That is for certain, man. Yeah, I can. Any given day, or even on the same day, I go from listening to, this era, the 2020. 20s or whatever it's called now, whatever this decade is called. We go into the 20s, and then we could go right into the 1920s. We could go to the early 2000s, the 1900s, into like the 1990s, or right into the 1950s and 60s, and listening to some old school music, and whether it's a little bit of soul R&B, or if it's a little bit of rock with Elvis, or if it's a little bit of everything, man. We're always bouncing around, man. Our playlists are crazy. They go all over the place. As Mrs. Holler says, Hammer Pants the best. Hammer Pants is the best. That is one way to put it, Mrs. Holler. Hammer Pants is definitely the best. Yes, that is for certain. As out in front, putting the hammer down, it's Jordan Fisher, who continues to lead the charge here at the front of the field. Jordan Fisher, man, looking just absolutely stout here this evening. He's going to be the car to beat all evening long. And as they cross the start-finish line, they complete lap number 87. So 87 laps down. Now we have 100 laps left to go. 100 laps left to go here in this race. There are no more stage breaks. It may be clean and green from this point on. We may see some more caution flags, but now is the time for pit strategy, tire strategy, fuel strategy, all to start to work into your favor if you want a chance and an opportunity to try and pick up the dub here this evening. As Ronnie says, the song sets the mood. It does set the mood. Yeah, it definitely sets the mood. That is for certain. As each and every one of these drivers, though, they are ready to keep on battling, ready to keep on duking it out here in this one. And we'll have to wait and see who's going to be able to get it done out there on the racetrack. But right now, it's all Jordan Fisher. But you got to wonder, potentially here, pit road speeding penalties, pit road mistakes. Obviously, tire wear may play a key factor out there on the speedway. If you run into some tire issues, if you run into some tire problems, could definitely put you into a deep hole out there on the racetrack that you may not have time or enough car to kind of battle back from it and battle your way into the action. So we'll have to wait and see who's able to get it done here in this one. For right now, Jordan Fisher obviously looking like the car to beat. He's looking like the best guy out there on the speedway and trying to run away with it. And obviously everyone else is, trying to hunt him down, trying to reel him in out there on the speedway. And, they're giving it all they got trying to get there. They're giving it everything they got, trying to work their way up to the front of the field. But right now, I mean, man, it's just all the fish speed brakes right here in the fish speed brakes. 280 with just under 100 laps left to go now in this one as Wu-Tang Clan. Oh, baby, we love it. We love it. Wu-Tang Clan. Oh, man, there we go. All right, we're in for a little Tupac. We're in for it. We're in for it, little Tupac. We like it. We like it. We're down. A little Wu-Tang Clan, a little Tupac, a little bit of, that era was so good. I was too young for it, but I kind of grew up in it. And I listened to so much of that growing up through, even public school into high school and stuff. And man, yeah, that was that. Those were the days. Those were the days, man. It's hard to reel in the fish. So far, it's definitely looking like it's a hard catch. It is definitely a hard catch to try to reel in that number 39 ride, man, the fish man himself, the Fisher Price number 39 ride of Jordan Fisher. He's just looking absolutely stout out there on the speedway, and obviously looking to try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening as he rolls there in that top spot, just trying to play it patiently here, trying to keep it nice and easy, keep it breezy out there on the speedway. Obviously, not wanting to put himself into a bad position or even worse position, especially if there is something that happens later on in this race. But for right now, obviously trying to battle his way into the hunt here at the front, and obviously trying to keep himself here right in the mix, right in the battle here, right in the heart of everything that's happening out there on the speedway. And for right now, man, it's working out for him. I mean, it's definitely working out for that beautiful 39 ride. And for some of his other Fish Speed teammates, I mean, they're battling hard. They're trying to race their way up there. Obviously, you see Matthew Wood sticking right there in that second position. It's been all Fisher and Wood here this evening. But Colby Wells doing a fantastic job in that 45 ride, rolling there in position number 3 as hell yeah, the best, he says. Yes, the best. Says, Ronnie says, come on, Evan, move it, but get out the way, Luda. Get out the way. Move it, but get out the way. Little Luda Chris up in the chat. We love it. As Jack Beauty up and into the 4th position, we see Evan Stewart trying to work his way back inside the top 5 as he rolls to the inside of the 0-5 of Michael Boyles for that 5th spot on the speedway. The outside lane able to prevail, though, able to keep himself rolling there out in front. And in that 5th position is Austin Thompson, Wyatt Mickelson, Joseph Smith, and Willie Smith rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. As from the window to the walls, till the sweat drop down my balls. All you females, girl. Ah, ski, motherfucker. Probably shouldn't get too much farther into that song, guys. Out in front, man, it's still Jordan Fisher, but you take a look back through the field, you see the 11 ride of Jaden Browder just on the outside of the top 10. Ryan Haller's right there as well in that 12th position. Logan Perriman in the 21 of Mr. Jacob Lee battling here for position number 13 on the speedway. Lee down low, looks like he'll slide back in front of the 99 ride into position number 13, but Logan Perriman gonna cross him over, drive back down to the inside here to enter corner number 3. Trent Johns in the Skittles ride in tow as here comes Caleb Holloman. The Dr. Pepper 77 ride rolls there in that 16th position with Chess Hamby. The 97 of Mike Corvo. Lucian Thompson there in position number 19. And Stephen Blevins in the Skyline number 15 ride, rounding out our top 20 here on the speedway. The Flex Seal 17 of Jason Bogart rolls there in 21st with Jace Lafort there in 22nd. Michael Ponder Jr., Nick Biddy, Aiden Lucas in the 34 ride, rounding out our top 25 on the racetrack. And he is the last driver on the lead lap as Jaden Porter, first driver at least 1 lap down, but I believe he's actually 2 laps down or very close to becoming 2 laps down out there on the speedway for Jaden Porter. Joshua Nunez also a couple laps down as Xavier Ruggelbruggy, unfortunately, I'm not sure what's happened to Xavier, but he's fallen a couple laps down here as well. Now scored back in the 28th position. Looks like Austin Guerrero has taken his car back down behind pit wall and off the racing surface. So hasn't Joe David, Grant Applegate, Landon Burbage, and Terrence Murphy to round out our top 39 and our 39 car field here this evening. But out in front, man, it is Mr. Jordan Fisher, who's opened up about 0.4 of a second. He's got that 4 or 5 car length lead now between himself and Matthew Wood, and hoping that he can hang on to that gap and just kind of manage it here and manage those tires, manage that fuel, and work himself into a good finish and a good position here throughout this race. So we'll have to wait and see kind of how that plays out for him and where that kind of sets him up out there on the speedway for late in this race. But for right now, he's rolling there and trying to keep himself in a good position, in the good fight here, in position number 1. But Jordan Fisher, obviously out in front. Matthew Wood there in second, trying to track him down. They've actually just left the rest of the field in the dust here. They ran away. It's between these two, chat. Nobody is like Snoop Dogg. Yeah, it's Snoop Doggy Dogg. Oh, man. Okay, hey, we like Snoop Dogg. We like Snoop Dogg. The D-O-double-G. We can get around for a little Snoop Doggy Dog, that is for certain. As, yeah, for Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, as much as these guys are trying to save or wanting to save out there on the Speedway, man, they are not holding back out there on the racetrack. They are giving it everything they got out there on the Speedway, and they're looking to continue on that work and that line of good, hard racing and good movement out there on the Speedway, and trying to just put themselves into a very strong performance out there on the racetrack. And as of right now, they're hoping to try to get it done here in this one. And obviously for the top two, they are just rolling nicely out there on the racetrack. We'll have to wait and see if they're able to get it done here in this one. But you know, pit road mistakes, issues down pit side, they can always jump up and bite you in the butt, but they are now 5 seconds in front of our third place driver, which is now the Robin Hood number 67 ride. Cake the Distance. Is that a song? Is that a band? What in the world is that? Cake the Distance. Good song. I don't know if I've listened to that one. All right, all right. How about a little bit of Lil Wayne, chat? Lil Wayne, get a little Lil Wayne in there, a little Will.i.am, a little Flo Rida. We like those guys. Those are some other good bands. Oh, man, another good one. Another good one. Let's see if you guys are on the same length with me here. A band that's not super huge, but has made a couple really, really good bangers. Okay, I'm going Down with Webster, chat. Down with Webster. Always, always good listen. Always good songs. That is a good one right there, man. Down with Webster. That is a that's a throwback. That's a throwback. They've been making a comeback though this year. They've been making a comeback. They made a couple new songs. They've been kind of doing some more concerts. That's a good one right there. I'll have to check out Cake though. I don't know if I've heard it before. I don't know the Distance. Is Cake the band or is the Distance the band? Or is Cake the band? I'll have to look that one up. That's an interesting one. Is still, you know, pulling away from our third place driver here. Jack Bulte's up and into that third spot, but the gap between him and our race leaders is over 5 seconds now. Over 5 seconds between first and second to our third place drivers. They exit corner number 2 right now. Our race leaders are already halfway down the front straightaway, and you take a look here out in front, taking the race lead away from Jordan Fisher. Finally able to get there, finally able to make that move. It's Matthew Wood who jumps out in front and steals the race lead away from Jordan Fisher. So it took him a little while, took quite a few laps here, about 30 laps of racing action until he finally worked his way around that number 39 ride. So maybe coming alive a little later in this race. We'll have to wait and see as and it says, Snoop Dogg and I have things in common. I feel like Snoop Dogg and like 90% of the population have some things in common. That is for certain, okay? Oh, man, we love Snoop Dogg, man. You guys ever watch Trailer Park Boys, man? Snoop Dogg, you know, he was in there for a couple seasons. He still makes some different ones. Says the Cake is a perfect race song. Oh. Okay, Cake is the band. Cake is the band. The song is The Distance. I'll have to listen to that one. But Trailer Park Boys, man, that is a Canadian classic. That is Canadian heritage right there. You're not Canadian if you didn't grow up watching Trailer Park Boys and, you know, enjoying, you know, Bubbles and Julian and all the amazing guys there, man. Ricky. I'm a lot like Ricky, but it's a racing song Jordan and I used to listen to on our way to dirt track races in MN. Okay. All right. Hey, listen, that's my bread and butter. That's where I grew up. That's what I have done my entire life is dirt track racing. So that is definitely going to be an interesting one. I'll definitely have to check that out. I'm sure I've probably heard it, you know, in my 31 years. I'm sure at some point in time I've heard it. It just did not ring a bell. So I'll have to give it a re-listen, or maybe I've never heard of it before. Maybe it was just a U.S. song that stayed down there and didn't make its way up here. So you may have just got us onto something new here up in the Great White North. Is out in front, though. Matthew Wood now leads the way, and he's trying to pull away from Jordan Fisher. He's opened up about 0.8 of a second, so not only able to steal the race lead, but pulling away from that Fish Speed number 39 ride. And obviously, looking really, really strong here, especially on the longer run. And even for Jordan Fisher, being able to still hang on here with them and be able to run this strong, this long into the run, where we're going to really start to see more and more drivers make their way down pit road, starting to make more of these pit stops here this evening, because you gotta see, obviously, Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, they're right in front by a big distance. Obviously, for Jack Bulte, he's sitting in third here. He's 5.6 seconds back of Jordan Fisher. Now 6.5 seconds back of Matthew Wood. For these drivers, if this race stays clean and green, if you're Jack Bulte, if you're Evan Stewart, Colby Wells, Austin Thompson, anyone else inside our top 10, you might have to make a bit of a gamble here. You might have to try to play some different strategy, whether it's trying to stretch out that fuel, run longer than everybody else, or maybe try to, play a bit of a different role, pitting earlier here, trying to use those fresher tires earlier in the race and trying to maybe leapfrog your way around a lot of these drivers and put yourself into a better position later in the run. But for right now, obviously, we'll have to wait and see, but we do see our first taker, maybe taking on our bikes, making the earlier pit stop. Here comes Jordan Fisher. Fisher down pit side, and out of our race leaders, he's the first one to head down pit road. So he's taking a pretty big swing at this one, headed down pit road this early. As you do see, that is Xavier Ruggle-Brugge down pit road here. He's unfortunately now about 10 laps down out on the racetrack, and for Zay, I'm not sure. It looks like he's got a little right front damage still on that 5 ride. Looks like he may unfortunately be parked down here for the rest of this race. We'll have to wait and see if he rejoins it. Obviously, being 10 laps down, out of contention for the win here this evening. But for Jordan Fisher, making that first pit stop, the only other driver to come down pit side with them was that 13 rider, Michael Potter Jr. But will it open the floodgates? It will, as here comes Colby Wells, Wyatt Mickelson, Logan Perriman, Trent Johns, Ryan Haller. So about another 5 drivers the next lap all make their way down pit road, and they're just going to continue to start sliding down pit side. But how long does Matthew Wood stay out? Obviously, he's got some good speed still in this car. He's still feeling pretty strong out there on the speedway. So maybe just trying to play this strategy out here. Run this as far as he kind of can. Even give up the race lead. Give up some of that track position here. Roll back in onto the racetrack. Maybe with that 5, 6, 7 lap. Better tires than Jordan Fisher. And quickly regain everything he gave up. And potentially gain even more here throughout the run. Usually, in these long green flag runs, if there's a caution flag shortly after the pit stop, it works in favor of the short-term pit stop drivers, but the long-term drivers that stay out there even later, in the longer run, tends to play out into their favor. But here we go. Matthew Wood gives up the race lead. Jaden Browder will take over the top spot, but we see Matthew Wood, Joseph Smith, Thompson's now heading down pit side in his Fish Speed ride, and we'll be looking for any of these drivers to potentially earn some black flags down pit road. So far, it's been pretty good. No one's really had an issue or a big mistake down pit side. You do see the 61, though, slide through his box there. Quick fix there, being able to get it backed up and rolling again out there on the racetrack. But for all these drivers, trying to obviously play the strategy, hoping that it works out into their favor. You can kind of tell, obviously, some drivers trying to play that earlier pitch strategy. When you look back at Jaden Browder and Michael Boyles, Willie Smith, Jacob Lee, Stephen Blevins, even Aiden Lucas here. Maybe they're trying to just play the opposite side of the spectrum here, trying to run as far as they can here, trying to run this fuel mileage out, where maybe the fuel mileage becomes a advantage for them. Maybe one less pit stop, maybe that puts them into victory lane, or maybe just trying to run a little later here before coming down pit road maybe puts them into a winning position. As Anna says, go Matthew, as Bill says, it's all about tires. It's all about tires. Yes, it is. It is all about them tires. As Ronnie says, you guys need to work together. They definitely need to work together and see if they can try to chase their way up there and into the battle at the front of the pack here without a caution flag. As we did see Jacob Lee finally head down pit road. Nick Biddy also headed down pit side here in that beautiful Pilgrim Rentals. Sisk Motors number 32 ride. The Nick Biddy Designs machine heads down pit road to get fixed up and obviously get some tires and get some fuel into that ride, and back out there onto the racetrack. Willie Smith now going to head down pit side as well. That beautiful 75 ride is Jaden Browder, Stephen Boyles, Stephen Blevins, Michael Boyles, Aiden Lucas, all staying out here, yet to come down pit road here for this green flag cycle of pit stops. And that couple extra laps there, obviously coming down 3 laps sooner than Matthew Wood. Jordan Fisher finds himself out in front now with about a 2-second gap, so that extra pit stop there being a little bit more, a little bit sooner there, maybe working into his favor for Jordan Fisher. I mean, it's worked him back out in front. He's leapfrogged Matthew Wood, but how much will he give up here on the longer run? Will Matthew be able to track him down, make that pass back around him, and steal that race lead back away from Jordan Fisher? Obviously, Matthew's going to have to, put his elbows up and go to work, put a little elbow grease into these corners and trying to bring that Outlier Speed Company Racers for Christ number 16 ride back to the front of the field as Jordan Fisher continues to lead the charge out in front as each and every one of these drivers putting together a fantastic race, a fantastic run here. Obviously, we saw a few caution flags in our first stage and our second stage, but this third and final stage, man, we've been clean and green now for about 44 laps of racing action, man. Some good green flag laps being laid down. And now we do see Jaden Browder headed down pit side. Looks like Michael Boyle's going to stay out for at least another lap. He'll consume that race lead. Stephen Blevins, he's still rolling out there as well. We'll have to wait and see when Stephen finally makes his way down pit side. I'm not sure if he's just on that same strategy, rolling out there as long as he can, and then hoping to maybe still lead a lap as well, as we do see Aiden Lucas in that Fruit Force Voodoo Ranger number 34 ride making its way down pit side here. So for the Nick Biddy Designs 34, he's going to make his pit stop. Now here comes Michael Boyles the next time around. Does Blevins make a stop here, as he'll be giving that race lead back over to the 39 ride of Jordan Fisher? Fisher would love to consume this race lead. He's got a couple lap cars between himself and that 16 ride of Matthew Wood, and hoping that's enough to keep Matthew back there at bay. But we do see Blevins going to stay out for at least another lap. He will lead a lap here, so for Stephen Blevins out in front, but man, he's going to stay out for a lot more laps here, trying to work this strategy into his favor, or he's just going to get past. Our race leaders are not necessarily too far back there behind him, less than 6 seconds now, separating what is our race leader, Stephen Blevins, but Stephen still has to make a green flag pit stop. Here he comes down pit road now. Short term, this will probably put him a lap down. Long term, he may be able to race his way back onto the lead lap here with how much fresher his tires will be compared to our race leaders. But we'll have to wait and see if those tires will make that big of a difference and see if he can try to race his way back on the lead lap. We'll see where he comes out onto the racetrack. But for Jordan Fisher in that Fish Speed Brakes number 39 ride, jumps back out in front. Fisher out in front, leading the charge here. Matthew Wood in tow. He's actually gained quite a bit of time here. It was about 2 seconds. It is down to a second between Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood now on the speedway. So Matthew has been closing in on that 39 ride. Trying to reel in Mr. Fisher again out there on the speedway. Now, they have quite a big lead here. Obviously, they are quite a ways away. Jordan Fisher a second over Matthew Wood. Matthew has 8.5 seconds back to our third place driver, Jack Buelty. Colby Wells is there with Evan Stewart in position number 5 as he looks down to the inside of the 45 of Colby Wells and move Evan Stewart inside the top 5 out there on the speedway. Joseph Smith in position number 6 here as he's going to work his way around that 32 ride. Unfortunately for Nick Biddy, he has fallen a lap down, and as we did see Stephen Blevins down pit side there, he does come out just behind our race leaders. Quite a bit fresher tires here. We'll see if he can race his way back onto the lead lap and at least give himself a good spot out there on the speedway. I think if nonetheless he may be in that free pass position out there on the racetrack. Yeah, Aiden Lucas, last driver on the lead lap. Stephen Blevins is currently in that free pass position with better tires. So we'll see if he can race his way back on the lead lap. If he does, that will move Jace LaForte into that free pass spot out there on the speedway. So for Jace, he would love to see that. Love to see him be in that lucky dog spot, trying to get himself back on the lead lap here this evening. But for the Fish Speed number 39 ride of Jordan Fisher, out in front, continuing to lead the charge, continuing to try to keep these drivers back there at bay as he heads down through corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. And here in the Fish Speed brakes. 280 from Homestead-Miami Speedway. They will complete lap 127, and we got 60 laps of racing action left to go here this evening as we'll jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Well, you can't make it up, chat. You cannot make it up. How many times has this happened? How many times does the Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up caution flag always come back to bite us in the butt, man? Oh my gosh. Alright, well, as soon as we jumped into the Crank It Up, the caution flag is going to be displayed. So another yellow out there on the speedway, our 9th caution flag of the evening, as this time it looks like the 10 ride of Chess Hamby in the MD Turner Enterprises. Nick Biddy Designs at number 10 ride, going to run into some issues. We'll see if he gets a little helping hand here, as I don't know if that was just, if you got a little piece there, if the 99 ride of Perriman got a little bit of that rear end, or if it was either going to help him or not there, as I think he was already kind of going around. Take a look here at it. So Perriman is right on his back bumper, but you can see the 10 already sideways. I think he might have been able to save it. Obviously, the 99 right on his back bumper. Really nowhere for him to go as the 10 sliding sideways, trying to obviously keep that car rolling, but unfortunately, no forward drive when you're sliding sideways, and unfortunately he's going to get sideways, continue to slide down into the apron here on the front straightaway, right into that NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series logo, and unfortunately getting stopped there on the racetrack. That will bring the caution flag out. So another yellow flag out on the speedway, and the Crank It Up caution flag curse will continue here this evening, and everybody will come down pit side. And now that's a great break here for everyone outside our top 2, is that's going to bring Colby Wells, Evan Stewart, Jack Bulte, the rest of the field, back into the battle here. Obviously, they were, 9-10 seconds back of Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood out there on the racetrack, and they were going to have a very, very tough time. I don't know if they would have been able to close that gap and reel them in, but obviously now with this caution flag, they'll be right back to their rear bumper as Jordan Fisher will get ready for this restart. Now, everyone was down pit road. I'm not sure who may have taken tires, who may have just taken fuel right there. We'll have to wait and see who's got the strategy here in this one, as Mrs. Holler, Anna says, Fleetwood Mac. Oh, yeah, Fleetwood Mac. That is a great band, great band. So many bangers there from Fleetwood Mac. We love that. And says, oh, thanks, Anna. And says, how about Ozzy? Ozzy! Yeah, you can't forget Ozzy, man. Oh, rest in peace, Ozzy. Rest in peace. She says, I'm wearing Ozzy socks. Oh, my gosh. Wearing some Ozzy socks. Oh, we can't forget Ozzy. Yeah, we can never forget Ozzy. And honestly, I mean, Youngblood as well right there. Youngblood, I mean, that concert for his, pre-funeral or whatever that was, his last show, Ozzy's last show, Youngblood did unreal, man. Those songs that he sang, some of Ozzy's as well, Youngblood is just so incredible, and he's got so many great songs of his own, but man, that was a good one. My buddies actually just went and watched Youngblood in Ottawa here, our capital of Canada, not too long ago, and they gonna see a concert there with Youngblood, so that was pretty cool. As Anna says, Matthew Wood, Joseph Smith, Ryan Haller cheering on the penultimate, the three cats out there on the racetrack that she's wanting to see up in victory lane here this evening. But right now, it's all Jordan Fisher, and Matthew Wood is still looking to try to run away with this one again, but unfortunately, we'll see if this restart gets going here before we jump into a crank it up. We'll see if this keeps going. If there's an issue here on this restart, as you see everyone trying to keep themselves pointing the right direction, everyone not trying to get that tire spin on the restart. And it looks like, for the most part, good restart, no issues. Everyone's able to keep it pointing the right direction here. And now for Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, they'll have to try to hold off Evan Stewart, Colby Wells, Austin Thompson, and the rest of the field as here comes Evan Stewart to the outside, but now here comes the 16. Big run, gets loose though, hang on to it, Matthew Wood. Oh brother, that was a close call, but here comes a good run, good shove there from Wells, getting Evan Stewart right through the outside of Mr. Matthew Wood. Matthew's gonna keep her pinned down low though, but the outside momentum may pay off for the 37, but sliding up in front of him was that 16 ride, and Matthew Wood will park himself right there in front of Evan Stewart. Evan will stick there with him, but look out, there goes Austin Thompson. Oh no, Joseph Smith collected. Thompson's around. Caution flag is back out on the racetrack as we do see Nunez going to get a piece of it. Nunez gets a big chunk of that one. And I do believe we saw Jason Bogart also getting tied up in that as well. Bogart ended up with some pretty solid contact there as well as, let's take a look at it here. So Colby Wells down on the inside here on this number 23. And I'm not sure if the 45 just comes up trying to side draft a little bit off the 23 ride. And I don't know if it's a little net code right there or if it's just tight racing. But nonetheless, it kind of just hooks that Black Honey Barbershop number 23 ride around. And unfortunately for Joseph Smith, nowhere for him to go. You see, obviously, Colby Wells getting some damage out of that as well. But, man, what a heartbreaker there for Mr. Smith, as he just really had nowhere for him to go there in that one. He was just trying to keep himself out of it, trying to keep that car rolling up inside the top 10. And he's going to get a great look at this one as, here we go. That's the pinball racing again. Yeah, that is the pinball racing again out there. So here we go. There's the contact, and the fish speed 31. Nowhere for him to go. Solid contact there for him. You see the 31 ride. Trying to just keep that thing pointing the right direction. Now, obviously, we saw a few more drivers kind of get collected in this one, as I believe you're going to see. Where is Jason Bogart? There's Bogart's in that 1776 Motorsports ride. He comes in here a little bit later, goes to the high side, finally sees these guys up top. Shoots for the middle and ends up getting clipped right there by the 23 ride. And he's now just trying to hang on to this thing. Maybe some rear end damage there. A broken right rear toe link in that 17 ride as he's struggling just to try to keep this thing pointed in the right direction. But he does rejoin the field here, able to keep on rolling. So we'll have to wait and see to what extent the damage is on that 17 ride. But obviously, we see Thompson down pit row. We see a lot of these drivers obviously making their way down pit side, trying to get some repairs, trying to get these cars fixed up and back out there on the racetrack and back into the action as Homestead Amusement Park bumper cars out there. We love that, as Ronnie says, let's go Evan and Fish. Cheering on the Fish and Mr. Stewart here this evening, as Mrs. Haller says, come on, Wyatt, holding steady out there. Hey, I mean, if you can keep on avoiding some of the carnage and some of the mayhem out there on the speedway, may move yourself forward and right into a great finish here this afternoon. I mean, top 10 definitely not out of the question here for Mr. Haller, as he's rolling right now at about the 11th position. Wyatt Mickelson's up there as well, running in that 5th spot on the speedway. And some great runs. Look at Mike Corvo as well. He's in 9th. Where in the world did this 97 ride come back from here this afternoon, as he rolls there in that 10th position? Aiden Lucas, the Voodoo Ranger, number 34 ride. They're in position number 10 as well. Excuse me, Chad. It's we're dying up here in the chat. The sickness is starting to attack me solidly here. solely almost 2 hours into this broadcast, my flu or sickness, whatever it is that I got, it is starting to catch up to me. It is starting to wear me down. So bear with us here. We're trying to stay alive. We're trying to keep giving you guys the best show we can as the pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn back down pit side. We'll stick with it for another lap or two before we jump into the crank it up to see if there's any more quick caution flags here, as cautions tend to breed cautions, and we'll have to wait and see if everyone is able to keep their cars pointing in the right direction. Good sign is that down the front straightaway, looks like everyone is able to keep on rolling, is able to keep their car pointing in the right direction out there on the speedway. So for right now, oh no, we spoke too soon. Caution flag back out on the racetrack. All right, so another caution flag. I have a sinky suspicion that maybe this 10 and 45 ride is there. It is. As, yeah, Colby Wells trying to work his way back up from rear of the field here, obviously getting that damage repaired, and looks like he just gets in there, gets a piece of that MD Turner Enterprises number 10 machine of Jess Hamby, and unfortunately just knocks Hamby loose, spins him up the racetrack here, and brings the caution flag out. There's the contact. And right slides up the speedway and sideways there in the middle of the racetrack, and cars coming at him. iRacing throws that caution flag, and another restart on the horizon for each and every one of these drivers as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Should be a quick restart here, but we'll have to wait and see some of the takers down pit road, and it looks like our front runners, Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, Evan Stewart, they come down pit side. Looks like Jack Bulty, Michael Boyles, Jaden Browder, Logan Perriman, they stay out, but we do see Aiden Lucas, Mike Corvo, Ryan Haller stays out here. We do see Jacob Lee, Caleb Holloman, Trent Johns, Lucian Thompson now down, or staying out there as well. Going to jump up into the 11th position, so this is going to kind of make this restart another really interesting one as our race leaders, Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher, we're going to be restarting back in the 12th and 13th position out there on the speedway, and this could produce another crazy restart for all these drivers. This could be another crazy one here as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to go back to battle here in just a couple more moments, so don't go anywhere as you do not want to miss the closing laps of this feature event. Make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family today as we'll get a quick word in from our sponsors here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League.
At KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods.
Alrighty, as here we go back to green flag racing as another restart here for all these drivers, but the field very broken up. Split decision down pit side. A few drivers were down pit road, obviously back on lap 129, some down on lap 134, but a lot of these drivers making their way back down pit side on lap 138 and trying to race their way back to the front of the field as Jack Bulty has the top spot. Jack out in front, leading the charge as Michael Boyles down to his inside. Jaden Browder, Logan Perriman, Aiden Lucas, our top 5 out there on the speedways. Ryan Haller rolls there in that 6th position as we see Jordan Fisher up and into the 9th position. Matthew Woods there in 10th. They're trying to navigate their way through the traffic, trying to work their way back out in front of the field here, and obviously they're going to have some patience here. They're going to have to slowly but surely work their way through this traffic, try to put themselves into a position to race their way back out in front, back to the race lead, and back in control of this feature event. But it's going to take them a little bit of time to not only track these guys down, but make the passes and put themselves in front of these other drivers, as we will see each and every one of these guys click off lap 142 here this evening. And we're inching closer and closer to our checkered flag as we'll jump back in to our Peacemaker Gaming, crank it up. Hopefully not curse here for this one, as Huey, what's good, Huey? Says, let's go, Boyles, Browder, and Aiden. Cheer on the boys here this evening. How are you, Huey? Coming in showing the love here in this one as we crank it up here this evening. Alrighty, a beautiful crank it up out there on the speedways. These drivers give us the sights and sounds around the always beautiful Homestead-Miami Speedway here this evening as we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag. Here this evening is out in front. It is the 67 of Jack Bulte. Bulte out in front, continuing to lead the way, but right there behind him in that Voodoo Ranger, number 34, it's Aiden Lucas who rolls there in position number 2. And for a few of these drivers on a lot different of a tire strategy and obviously pit strategy here, they were last down pit road on lap 129. Virtually a caution flag or two prior to when we saw drivers like Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, Wyatt Mickelson, and a lot of these other guys back there deeper in the field, Kobe Wells, Evan Stewart, Chess Hamby. They were down pit side on lap 138, but the big question is going to be potentially fuel here late in this race. We've been talking about tires, and how tires are going to be very, very important as Fish Mom says, listening to the distance up in the booth. I wish if it wouldn't go through this, I would give it a listen, that is for certain, as Ronnie says, what are you doing, Evan? Yeah, I'm not sure if Evan really knows what's going on here. Obviously, those drivers that pitted, 10 laps prior to a lot of our front runners here this afternoon, their tires are hanging on strong. They're doing a fantastic job. Obviously, still leading the way here with Bulte, Lucas, and Browder running 1, 2, and 3. Jordan Fisher has only gotten up into about that 4th position. Matthew Wood right there behind him. Michael Boyles, Ryan Haller, they didn't come down pit side here with the rest of the leaders there, as we saw Wyatt Mickelson, he was down pit side there on lap 138. But the big question mark will be, will the drivers that pitted back on lap 138, will they be able to make it here on fuel? Will they be able to save enough? Will they be able to coast here? Maybe that's why they're really not moving too far forward. When you look at Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, even Wyatt Mickelson, you look a little farther back at drivers like Colby Wells and Evan Stewart, maybe they know that they can make it on fuel. If they save enough here, if they are a little bit more patient out there on the speedway, they may be able to run this final run out here and not have to make an additional green flag pit stop here this evening for the drivers that were last down pit road on lap 129. It may be a whole lot tougher for them. I think they're probably going to have to make one more stop here throughout this race. Even if they were able to save a bunch throughout a couple of those yellow flags in between lap 129 and lap 138, there was still a few green flag laps in there. A few times that they were on the throttle, it may be out of the picture, and that's maybe why they're running a little bit harder, a little bit stronger right now, even with the older tires staying in front of Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, and the rest of these guys, because they may not have anything else to race for. They're on the throttle. They're hoping that they can keep their track position, catch a caution flag, put themselves into a spot that they can pick up potentially a win here this afternoon, as we do see Jaden Browder. Jaden finally comes down pit road, so it looks like for Browder, he knew he needed fuel. He wasn't going to be able to make it to the end of this race, so he heads down pit side and unfortunately makes this green flag pit stop. Now, he's just got to hope that it stays clean and green, that we do see everyone have to come back down pit road, if everyone is able, for the most part there, all those drivers that were down pit side on lap 138, if they can make it to the end of this race without having to make an additional green flag pit stop, then that could definitely put these guys into a very, very tough position. But if they can't make it, and they got to make a late race pit stop, maybe they make it too late where the fresh tires and the extra good run here throughout this final stage may be able to put them into a winning position. See the 0-5 right on Michael Boyles. He ends up down pit side here on lap 166. So for our race leader, Jack Bulte, looks like Bulte and Aiden Lucas, they're going to stick with it. They're going to stay out. And I think this late in the race, it's all a gamble here for these drivers. It is gambling time. It is time to kind of, take your shot and either hope it works out in your favor or something goes right or something goes wrong out there on the racetrack that can save your bacon here this evening with only 20 laps left to go. Obviously starting to see some of those drivers that were down pit road on lap 29 work their way down pit road. Obviously, if they can get 10, 15 laps of fresh tires and runs out there for that 10, 15, 20 laps on fresh tires compared to drivers that are going to be trying to stretch that fuel out, trying to make it to the end of this race without having to make an additional pit stop where they still may have to. It may be all for naught. Fisher, Wood, Mickelson, even looking back at Evan Stewart and Colby Wells, maybe they're finally realizing that, hey, even if we keep saving aggressively, even if we do back the pace up a ton, we still may not be able to make it to the checkered flag here on the racetrack. So they're going to be making some tough decisions. They're going to be looking to, potentially find victory, trying to find victory lane. They're going to have to play the strategy out and hope that it works into their favor as we do see the Voodoo Ranger number 34 of Aiden Lucas. He'll come down pit side, and if these guys do have to make late race pit stops, man, this could really put a couple drivers, those earlier pit stops here, even for Aiden Lucas, Trent Johns, Logan Perriman, if they get 10 laps with with new tires out there on the racetrack, it could put them into a winning position. Same with Jaden Browder and Michael Boyles here. If everyone else has to come down pit road and all these race leaders stay out for another, 5, 10, 15 laps, I mean, it could really virtually put them into the winning position late in this race, being able to run all these laps. But I think for right now, it's all been the drivers that were last down pit side on lap 129 coming down pit road. So obviously they know they cannot make it. They cannot get to the checkered flag here without making this additional pit stop. As you do see Ryan Haller now down pit road here as well as Jack Butte. He's going to stay out here. It looks like he's running as long as he can. He may run out with, 5, 10 laps left of fuel in this 67 ride, but he's going to run it dry, hoping to see a caution flag, hoping to catch a break here that could work out into his favor and give him track position late in this race. As Jordan Fisher back there in tow in second, Matthew Woods in third. And for these two, man, it's going to be a bit of a dogfight between them as Jordan Fisher, Matthew Wood, they currently have about an 8-second gap between themselves and what could be our third place driver, Wyatt Mickelson, there in that fourth position. Evan Stewart, he's now back up into fifth here with Jack Butte probably having to make a green flag pit stop. That would move Evan Stewart up into fourth, Mickelson into third. Jacob Lee, who I believe will have to make a pit stop here at some point in time as well. He was last down pit side on lap 129. He'll have to come down pit road, which will move Colby Wells now up into the sixth position, but he should slide inside our top five here this evening. And for Chess Hamby, man, Chess Hamby, we've seen him run into a slew of issues out there on the racetrack this afternoon. And for Chess Hamby, he's in line for maybe a good solid top 10 run here this evening. He currently runs in that 8th position, but with a couple drivers in front of him that may have to find pit road here before the end of this race. He may be in a golden spot out there on the racetrack. Mike Corvo, Stephen Blevins, Willie Smith, as here comes Lucien Thompson down pit side. So Lucien is going to hit pit road here in that fish speed number 61. He couldn't go any farther. He has to make his way down pit road here on lap 173. So he makes his potential final pit stop of this race as the 67 still out in front, still leading the charge here. Get to come back down pit road, and for the Robin Hood 67 ride, man, Jack is risking it for the brisket here this evening. He is banking on a caution flag to potentially work in his favor here this evening. And obviously for Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood, trying to save as much fuel as they can to make it to the end of this race. But I know for Matthew Wood, he wants to save a little bit more aggressively, where he may be able to try and hunt down Jordan Fisher and try to steal this race lead away from Fisher and potentially the win late in this race as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the game plan is here for those two. And it'll be interesting to see when Jack finally has to come down pit road. Obviously, these guys were down pit side 9 laps after the 67 ride was, and he did have a couple caution flag laps to his name, to his run here. So we'll see really how far he can push it, and if he's got to come down pit side in the next couple laps, man, it's going to be real tight for Fisher, Wood, all these other drivers. Fuel will be definitely running on fumes here in a late race restart or NASCAR overtime would definitely probably put these guys right back down pit side and hoping that they can keep some track position, keep themselves in the battle for the win here this evening. But for Jack Buelty, he's continuing to keep on rolling here at the front of the field, trying to keep himself out in front as he heads down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy out of corner number 4. Does he come down pit side this time? Does not look like it. He will stay out and down across the line. He will complete lap 177. So 177 laps down, only 10 laps left to go here in this feature event as the Fish Speed breaks 280 here from Homestead-Miami Speedway, man, putting together an absolutely amazing run, absolutely amazing race for us. Here this evening, we saw a few caution flags here and there, and obviously yellows breeding yellows, but late in this race, man, another good long green flag run. And for Jack Buelty, man, maybe he's just got the Joey Logano fuel-saving bug, and he's just going to be good on fuel here to the end of this race. And maybe Fisher, Wood, Stewart, all these guys won't be able to get this extra spot here late in this race, or maybe he's just going to run this Robin Hood ride right out of fuel and hope for, you know, obviously a caution flag at any point in time here to try to save his bacon as we see more drivers having to come down pit road. You saw the 6 just rolling back out there. The 21 of Jacob Lee was down pit side. We saw Logan Perriman, Trent Johns, Jace LaForte, a lot of these drivers having to make these additional pit stops here late in this race, and here comes our race leader. Could not go any longer, and for Jack Buelty, finally has to come down pit road here, gives up that race lead, could not make it any farther. That will hand the top spot back over to Jordan Fisher. So Jordan back out in front, but right there with them is that 16 ride of Matthew Wood. There is the 11 of Jaden Browder. Browder is the current first car 1 lap down, but with fresh tires, you'll be able to see how much these fresh tires make a difference as he's going to jump up on the outside lane. He's just going to work right to the outside here of Matthew Wood and quickly to Jordan Fisher to put himself right back on to the lead lap here this evening. As late race yellow could definitely get him right back into the action once he either gets the lucky dog or if he can race his way back on a lead lap and also put Michael Boyles into a lucky dog position out there on the racetrack. But it's down between Jordan Fisher, who's got some good lap traffic here in front of him, and that 16 ride Matthew Wood. Wood up on the outside fence here, looking for a big run, a big drive there in that outside groove, trying to reel in the 39 of Jordan Fisher as he kind of gets a little bit trapped here in behind some of this lap traffic. Is there 3, 4 wide, down through corner 3 and 4. That may open up the door here for Matthew Wood. As they were 4 wide, I don't think Fisher realized that was coming, and that opens up the door for Matthew Wood to get to his inside. So lap traffic playing a role here late in this race, and unfortunately for Jordan Fisher, being in the middle of that 4 wide battle just put Matthew Wood to the race lead. So Matthew now out in front. He'll have to try to slice and dice his way through some of this lap traffic, and it looks like for Wood, he is now on the throttle. He is pushing hard, knowing that he wants to try to run away from Jordan Fisher, does not want to open up the door for that 39 ride with only 5 laps left to go here in this feature event. 5 more laps here, ladies and gentlemen. Who do you think gets it done? Is it the Racers for Christ, Outlier Speed Company, 16 of Matthew Wood, who holds on and picks up the win here this evening? Or do we see Jordan Fisher work his way back to the point and around the 16 ride? Unfortunately, they're about 9-10 seconds in front of our third place driver, Evan Stewart. Evan hanging on to that third spot, has his Fish Speed teammate right in front of him, and one right behind him as Kobe Wells rolls there in 4th, and Wyatt Mickelson rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Jess Hamby rolls there in 6th, but he's got Stephen Blevins looking down to his inside. Great run here, great rebound for both Stephen Blevins and for Jess Hamby here this evening. Willie Smith rolls there in that 8th position with Aiden Lucas and Jack Buell there in 9th and 10th out there on the racetrack. But out in front, with only 3 laps left to go here, it's Matthew Wood, man. Mr. Wood out in front, looking for another win here this evening. This historic wheel-to-wheel racing league career. I believe he had just won his 16th race here in the series, and I believe here tonight this will be win number 17 for the 16 Ryan Matthew here this afternoon. So for Matthew Wood, looking to get it done here, and since he's gotten that race lead and some clean air onto the nose of that 16 ride, he is pulled away from Jordan Fisher. Unfortunately, Fisher about 9/10 of a second back here from Matthew Wood with only 2 laps left to go. He's going to need a caution flag or something to go wrong here for Matthew. And obviously, Veal is right there on the edge here. I think for Wood, Fisher, Evan Stewart, all of our top 8 out there on the racetrack, Veal is going to be a hot commodity here in these closing laps, and there may be a few drivers that may run out of fuel as we see Kobe Wells looking to try to race his way around Evan Stewart for that 3rd spot on this speedway. As the white flag has been displayed, so no late race caution flag, no NASCAR overtime here this evening. 186 laps completed, 1 lap left to go here for Matthew Wood, as the Racers for Christ number 16 will lead us down the back straightaway here at Homestead-Miami Speedway for the final time here this evening, and the Fish Speed Breaks 280. It's Matthew Wood who will round corner number 4 and pick up the win here in Miami. It's Matthew Wood who gets the job done and picks up the dub here in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League as the Fish Speed Breaks 280 comes to a close. Excuse me, chat. We're still sick. We're still trying to survive up here as Wood picks up the dub, will pull himself up and into victory lane. Jordan Fisher comes home in 2nd. Kobe Wells will round out our top 3 as Evan Stewart comes home in 4th. Ches Hamby ends up in 5th and will work his way around Wyatt Mickelson late in this race. So what a rebound there for Ches Hamby to come out of this race after a slew of issues, and being able to come home with the top 5 run is an incredible drive there for him. Even Stephen Blevins up there in 7th, Willie Smith, Aiden Lucas, Jack Buelty rounding out our top 10 here this evening. But everyone trying to battle and beat Jordan Fisher and Matthew Wood. We kind of knew it was between these two for a lot of this race, and that's exactly how it plays out. And for Matthew Wood, he's able to get the upper hand and parks himself up here into victory lane as Jordan Fisher will come home in position number 2 here this evening. Kobe Wells there in 3rd, another good Fish Speed ride there, rounding out our podium this afternoon as Bill Fisher says, nice race, Jordan. Andrea Sue says, awesome job, Jordan. Says, speed fish as well in the chat. Mrs. Holler says, congrats to all. Feel better. I appreciate that, Mrs. Holler. I appreciate that coming in, showing the love here in this one. I really hope that I feel better. I hate being sick, man. It is the absolute worst, especially when you got to be up here in the broadcast booth, man. I mean, we speak, I don't know how many words, man, 100,000, 200,000 words throughout a broadcast, man. That is a lot of talking. That's more talking than I think the regular person speaks probably in a week, let alone just in a 2.5 hour time period. Obviously, it's a lot of words to come out of your mouth, and when you're sick, you got a sore throat, you got a cough, you got stuffy nose and headache and chest pain and upset stomach, man. It makes everything that much worse. And man, I am tuckered out. I can't wait to go to bed here this evening and just absolutely crash out here today. Is Matthew Wood going to take this car right back to the hauler here, and I don't know if he's trying to find his way into victory lane or he's going to take the road course out there on the speedway, but Anna says, way to go, Matthew. His fish mom says, great race, Jordan. Congratulations to Matthew as Mr. Wood gets it done here in this one. We'll get ready to pull him in the rest of our top 3 up and in to the broadcast booth here this evening, man. Great run, great drive, great performance by each and every one of these drivers, man. Heck of a show, heck of a race here this evening, and we can't wait to get these guys up and into the booth. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Mr. Matthew Wood. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
What's up, buddy?
Not much, Matthew, man. What a run. What a race, man. Take us back through this one. Is obviously fuel, tires, tough competition here all taking effect here this evening, and it comes down to these late race pit stops, the late race strategy down pit road. We see you, Fisher, and pretty much 8 of our top 10 making that strategy call to come down pit side during that last caution flag. And luckily enough, that was the last caution flag because it forced all these other drivers that stayed out and gained that track position to come down for these green flag pit stops late in the race. And that brings you and Fisher right back out in front. And all of a sudden, Fisher trying to battle through some lap traffic ends up in the middle of 4 wide. You're right there ready to pounce, and you jump up and steal that top spot away from him. And from that point on, you just kind of set sail. You got that fresh chair. Yeah, it seemed like maybe you saved a little bit more tire throughout that run, and you just pulled away from Jordan here late in this race to park yourself back up and into the wheel-to-wheel victory lane.
Yeah, just a really good race between me and Fisher there at the towards the end. I mean, the whole race we were having a really good battle. It's unfortunate what happened at the start. I don't know how I made it through that to get the lead. I just gained 6 spots on the start, but no, the whole week I couldn't figure out the bottom. I kept saying, if we're not going to run the top, if the top isn't dominant, then I'm probably not going to be able to do anything because that's what I come here for is to run the top and just be right on that outside. Well, I mean, we saw it a couple times. I was ripping the wall behind Fisher to see if I could do anything, but it's just very annoying. The lap cars at the end were very annoying. I had started when I wasn't saving fuel, I was gaining on Fisher, so I think it would have been a very, very interesting battle at the end had the lap cars not gotten in the way. Because I definitely think I was much quicker just from the way I was saving fuel compared to him. Um, but yeah, it's a bummer for the battle because I mean they were 4 wide at one point getting squeezed, so it's nothing Fisher did wrong necessarily. I think it would have been interesting to see who would have won because I think I could have passed him, but I mean he would have made it harder than it was. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks that in his eyes it's going to end to lap cars, but I think what he has to look at is he drove from basically last to first by the end of stage one. So that is an unbelievable drive. He is an absolute monster, and I hope to go. Me and him could go pro together one day. I'm being serious. He's an unbelievable race car driver, and I think me and him learning off of each other, that is something that I look forward to in the future. But um, you know, it was a fun race all around. Getting to save tire, and I was gonna pass him at the end of stage two. Thought I had the right strategy and right when I was gonna go pass him at the end of stage two. There, the caution came out and waited to pit a little bit. Then was gonna right. I got right back to him, and a caution came out the lap that I was gonna try to go to the outside and pass him. So just unfortunate timing for everybody, I think, throughout the race.
Yeah, obviously those caution flags wreaking havoc here a little bit this evening. Obviously, untimely yellow flags there for some with pit stops and everything else. And then obviously on these restarts, man, that tire spin was a key factor into a lot of the carnage here this evening. A lot of restarts kind of getting the yellow right out as drivers had a tough time trying to get up through the gears here. I don't know if it was just starting in too low of a gear, getting onto the throttle too quick, and just getting that tire spin and looping their cars around. But obviously, right at the get-go, we see our pole sitter Applegate runs into that problem. The 39 of Jordan Fisher runs into that problem, and both drivers end up going from first and second at the start of this race to causing a bit of a pile up and mayhem back behind them, and they both end up towards the rear of the field here. And obviously for Fisher, he was able to rebound from it. Unfortunately for Applegate, he ended up finding the safer barrier there on pit road entry during, I believe it was the end of stage number one. He ended up running into those sand barriers there coming down pit road, and unfortunately that kind of ended his afternoon. But for Fisher, able to battle back and into a good finish here this evening. But for yourself, obviously, it was just a dogfight between the two of you here this evening. Obviously, we see you win that first stage of the day. You guys are battling there in stage number two, and then even here throughout this final stage, it's a dogfight virtually between the two of you at one point in time. I mean, you two are out in front by almost 10 seconds over the rest of the field.
Yeah, I mean it. Once Fisher pitted behind me, I didn't want to just make a big move and come in, and then he, fake me out and stay out. So the next best option is just to run a couple more laps because if you pit the next time by, you're not going to have the fresher tires. So that was my plan, and it was going to work. But I think me and him got a little bit better of racing out of that from those cautions. But got to thank the admin team. We've been working very hard to make a system to where everything's fair and there's less cautions. And I think we had some very good green flag racing tonight. So I thank you to all the admins for um, helping make that. We've been again, we're doing everything we can here. Thank everybody for trying to race clean on the racetrack. Thanks to everybody supporting me in the chat, and thank you for doing what you do. Thank God for sending Jesus Christ down for all of us, and we'll be like Biff. I had this paint scheme made by Noah Blackwell, NGB Designs. If it showed up, it's a Greg Biffle 2013 3M die or 3M throwback. So this might be my main if it showed up, but uh, yeah, just an incredible paint scheme. Again, thanks to Noah for making that. Be like Biff, like always, and we'll go into next week and try to keep winning.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you guys back out there on the racetrack, back into the battle, and potentially seeing this 16 ride in the beautiful Greg Biffle throwback paint scheme right back up here into Victory Lane. Matthew, enjoy the dub. Don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane, and we'll see you back out on the Speedway next Sunday night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Matthew Wood, as Matthew picks up the dub here in this one and parks the 16 into Victory Lane as we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 39 ride of Jordan Fisher. Hey, Jordan, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yeah. Yep.
Jordan, man, great run, great race for you here this evening. Obviously, things got off to a bit of a wild start for you as some tire spin out of your teammate, maybe a little contact there, equating to some tire spin out of yourself, and you and Applegate run into issues right out of the get-go, but there in that first stage, man, you're able to battle your way back up through the field, work yourself back up into second there in that first stage of the day, and then obviously from that point on, it was kind of just a dogfight between you and Matthew Wood, even through some of this other late race pitch strategy. I mean, without a late race yellow flag, I mean, we knew it was going to be between the two of you, and obviously lap traffic played a role in that one. We see you go four wide trying to slice and dice your way through some of that lap traffic, and unfortunately down into corner number one. I don't think you realized that all of a sudden you were going to be in the middle of a four wide battle, and Matthew Wood able to just take advantage of it and work his way out in front of you, and then obviously pulled away there late in the race, man. Take us back through and what's going through your mind, though, after an incredible night of racing action out of that 39 ride.
Well, I mean, to get a win taken away like that is quite frustrating, to be quite honest with you. So that's all I really got to say.
Yeah, it definitely stings, definitely hurts, but I mean, it's part of the game, it's part of the fun that we come to the racetrack to enjoy. Obviously, you want that respect, you want those drivers to give you that room late in the race, but obviously, they were running out of room themselves, some of them trying to keep themselves on the lead lap, other ones trying to battle back onto the lead lap, and I think the sixth ride there on the high side was just trying to hang on to it and stay out of your way, and unfortunately, you just kind of found yourself right in a hornet's nest there, and obviously stings that you get stung, and you see Matthew take that top spot away from you. But even if there was no lap traffic there, obviously you would have put up a bigger fight and would have definitely made that pass very, very hard on Matthew Wood. Do you think you would have been able to hold him off there in those closing, 9, 10 laps out there on the racetrack and kept that 16 ride from making the move to get around you late in this race?
I'm not going to tell you what would have happened or what could have happened and all that, but all I'm going to say is that as much as the leaders show respect to the people around, midfield and the backfield need to show respect for the leaders and considering the final two laps of the freaking race. So, I mean, that's that and whatever. I mean, Matthew ran a great race. He was easily one of the fastest cars out there. I thought I had him quite easily beat, and quite honestly, I did. If I didn't have anybody in front of me, that's a whole different story. But like I said, that's a woulda, coulda, shoulda. That's all I'm gonna say. And like I said, props to Matthew on it. So
Absolutely right there with you, in the right place at the right time, and he's able to use that to his advantage and parks himself up here in victory lane. But you still come home here, obviously with a hurtful second, but at the end of the day, still a very good run. Obviously here in position number 2, some great stage points throughout this race as well. So a good points day here for the 39 ride, and a heck of a show, a heck of a performance out there on the speedway.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the people that run this league at Wheel to Wheel, Evan, and of course the people in Fish Speed Breaks. Good community there with everybody working on getting faster. Put a lot of time this week. It's not the result we really wanted, but regardless, it was a good week overall. And thanks for putting on a great broadcast as always.
Absolutely, brother. Always my pleasure to be up here in the booth and watch you guys duke it out there on the speedway. Jordan, congratulations on the second place run here in this one. Hopefully next week, a little bit more clear sailing late in the race and maybe parking that 39 ride back up here in victory lane in the Wheel to Wheel Racing League, brother. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and can't wait to see you back out there next Sunday night.
Thanks for the fish.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Mr. Jordan Fisher. As Fisher comes home there in position number 2. Solid run, solid drive there for that 39 ride. Obviously disappointed. Obviously, that one stings coming home, a spot shy of victory lane and having that race lead late in it and seeing it get taken away from you late in the race is definitely a tough one, as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, Mr. Colby Wells. Let's get Wells up here into the booth. Hey, Colby, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Colby, man, great run, great race here tonight for that 45 ride, man, as we saw some great speed out of you here this evening. Obviously, a few times up inside our top 5, top 3 for a lot of this race, kind of right there in that battle. And then, obviously, late in this race, trying to play that strategy, trying to save a little bit of fuel, waiting for some of these other drivers that were, down pit road on lap 129 to finally have to come down pit road and allow you and Evan Stewart to kind of regain all those positions. And unfortunately, obviously, no late race caution flags, no open doors there to try to get another shot at Matthew Wood and Jordan Fisher. But you're able to make the late race move to get around Evan Stewart and work yourself up and into this third spot on the speedway, man. Take us back through it, and how you feeling here after a podium run here at Homestead-Miami Speedway?
Yeah, it's definitely great to come P3 there. Every time at the end there it falls apart. I do good, really, really good in stage 1, really good in stage 2, and towards the end it just seems to collapse every single race. So it feels really good to be able to capitalize and get a P3 there. Matthew, Jordan, and Evan were just insanely fast all race. I got a lot of catching up to do, and it feels good to get P3, but I got a lot of work to do, and I won't be here next week or the week after. So when you come back in 2 weeks, I'm going to try and put a lot more practice in and see if I can run up there with Jordan and Matthew. But yeah, crazy race, good green flag runs. It was a really fun saving fuel there with Evan at the end, and just really glad to bring it home P3, get a good finish finally.
Yeah, able to finally finish one of these off with a solid performance and solid run, and obviously being able to capture a podium run here this afternoon for that Fish Speed number 45 ride, man, after what has been, obviously a lot of caution flags throughout a lot of these races here tonight. We see a lot of issues on these restarts. Take us back through some of these restarts. As we saw, there was a lot of action right in front of you, a lot of drivers running into that tire spin. Luckily enough, you're able to avoid majority of it and keep yourself out of some of those big pileups on the front straightaway.
Yeah, I didn't get a lot of practice here at Homestead running laps, but I was running Darlington and A-Fix this week, so I had a lot of practice kind of not mashing the throttle in those restarts and kind of just easing into it and then getting into third. So I didn't have a lot of trouble in the restarts, but some of those guys towards the front and the back had a lot of issues getting to the throttle. So I think if we can clean up these caution flags, we'll have some really, really good racing here in Wheel to Wheel, and I hope the guys tuning in. We'll keep tuning in, and we get some new viewers, and it's a lot of great racing here up front.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of great racing and a lot of great racing to come here throughout this season. It's a long season, a lot of racing, a lot of laps here, and a lot of great battles to be had here throughout the rest of the year. And hopefully, many more trips for you up here into the broadcast booth. But here tonight, Colby, you park it in third. Brother, who'd you like to thank for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Absolutely. I'm not used to these league races, so I'm trying to get a lot more reputation in it, and keep running up front, and hopefully we can snag a win here. So, thank you to Jordan Fisher and Fish Speed Brakes for putting it on the car. He's done a lot of work with TI Racing and putting this team together, and he's done a great job. So I can't thank Fish Speed Brakes enough. I messaged Jordan Fisher. He'll let you in his Discord and try and go through and test some things out. Maybe spend a little bit of money, and he'll give you access to the Fish Speed Brakes. There's a lot of great information in there. So reach out to Jordan Fisher. Thank you to Fish Speed Brakes, TI Racing, all my teammates. Thank you for putting on the broadcast, and I'll be back in 2 or 3 weeks, and hopefully we can come out with a checkered flag.
Absolutely, brother. We look forward to seeing you back in action and right back up there battling at the front of the field, brother. Colby, congrats on the 3rd place finish here tonight. We'll see you back out there in the next one.
Appreciate it. Have a good night.
You as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Colby Wells. As Wells comes home here in position number 3, man. Great run, solid drive there out of that 45 ride. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here this evening. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys help us out here. It helps us out a ton. Drop a couple comments for us in the comments section. Even if you're rewatching the broadcast, jump into, into the fam jam here. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. Hit the subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family, and if you want to help us out even more, hit the join button, become part of the Peacemaker sub club, the Peacemaker members club here as well. Helps us out a ton, helps us keep up with the monthly bills and fees that we have to pay and everything else. So become a member here of the Peacemaker family as well and enjoy some exclusive content, exclusive action here on Peacemaker Gaming, and hopefully you guys hit that like button as well. Hit the thumbs up button. Enjoy it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the amazing racing, the amazing action here this evening. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here tonight. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here and joining us here in the grandstands and enjoying the great racing action here of the Wheel to Wheel Racing League. Unfortunately, though, that will do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Peace and love, baby. We'll catch y'all back here tomorrow night for some more racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming.
Kick the back door. When you're ready to jump, forget your best door. Engines roar, the dirt flies thick, steel beats rumble.